Yep. 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 I don't care what the swingers say. I'm taking the pineapple back. Nope. Fuck them. It's mine now. It's mine now. It's officially my brand logo. All right. We're back. Once more. A Tuesday missed, a Wednesday to begin the week, and a brand new era of the Dragon's Claim. So, I think we should shut the stream off. So, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the VOD for a fantastic day. It's indeed Wednesday, the 10th. That's right. It is raid day for Cartana and Celesteela. And so I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer for 4 hours. I should hop in queue for Celesteela. I'm going to do that now. There we go. I'm currently 20,000th in line. So I'll be monitoring my phone throughout the day, to the stream, and hopefully before the end of it, I actually get a chance to raid. Because, you know, I'm back though. I'm back from Edmonton. It was an interesting trip. It was an interesting trip, all right? I'll say that. It was an interesting little event that I did not know fully what I was getting into with it. And it was good though. Ella did very well at the market. You know, good for her. Probably not a market big enough for us to want to go back to next year, you know, because the problem is it's like, it's a lot to break even for a market that you travel to and stay overnight somewhere, you know. And I know some vendors like were saying, oh, you know, it's so easy to travel between like Calgary and Edmonton and wherever else in Alberta because you can stay really inexpensively. And I was like, well, how do you do that? And they're like, well, you carpool with other, you know, vendors from your city, save on gas. I was like, okay, that sounds awful, but got it. That's what we're doing. Okay, so carpool, save on gas, and then you split hotel rooms with people. So you get a hotel room with 2 queen beds, and you can fit 4 people in there, you know. And that's a good way to lower a already low hotel bill down, apparently. I know a couple people did that. They stayed at hotels that were around like $90 a night or so. And they split it. So they're like, oh, it's only $45 a night. For 2 nights, it's like $90. How much did you pay for your hotel? And I was like, I paid $120 a night per night. And I roughed it. I roughed it as scuffed and rough as I am willing to tolerate. Now, I've been told that I'm a bit of a prissy bitch when it comes to hotels. I need my hotels to not be scuffed. I need them to be clean. And I need them to feel reasonably safe. You know? I'm not like a motel for $30 on the side of the road kind of guy. I can't do that kind of shit. So, I thought we were really roughing it by going with the $120 option instead of the $160 option that we had stayed at, you know, previously in Edmonton. And even then, that is extremely roughing it, considering the kind of hotels that I usually would stay at if I go on trips are usually in the $300 to $400 range. So, but that's fine, you know. It's small business hotels, not that big of a deal. But it was roughing it pretty hard. But apparently, other vendors had a very easy time going to and from the events. But there's just something about it, you know. That I feel like once I hit like maybe 26. I basically was done sharing carpooling, whatever. I was done. I was done with that shit. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my right as an adult to never have to carpool with anyone ever again more than, you know, 2 work it back or whatever. Certainly not going to a different city in my state. So, didn't do that. I had to pay for full tank of gas for us. Glad we did, though, because then we had access to our vehicle so we could drive around, do whatever we want, and leave whenever we want. And then yeah, sharing hotels with people. I don't know. I don't think I have any friends really that I'd be okay sharing a hotel with. Last time I shared a hotel was the first time that Ella and I went to Japan together. And we shared a hotel with our friend Earl. He was my homie, and he worked at Hyatt in Calgary. I knew him through the game store. He was a good friend of mine, and he was like, "Bro, I got like sick discounts on Hyatt hotels in Japan. Yo, you in?" You know, and it was basically the trip wasn't going to happen unless it happened with him, and it was fine. We stayed in the hotel together. It was all right. It wasn't a big deal. But, you know, we were in our early 20s, we were like 23, maybe 22, 23, 21, maybe. I don't remember. And it's different. It's fine there. You know, I feel like as you grow, you want a little bit more peace. You don't want to be sleeping right next to your homie that's snoring, you know? So maybe you could share like a suite, you know, if it's like a divider or an Airbnb, like Blaze said, you know? Like, I feel like you're right, like that's fine, but a straight up hotel room, I don't think I could do that again. So especially a shitty hotel, but I guess that's how a lot of the vendors made the market worth it. For us, it was definitely a great market for Ella, but when you look at all in all what it costs and takes and does to go to fucking Edmonton for a weekend, I don't know. And we do have more. All right, I got stories. We do have some things we need to discuss. Okay, I have stories from the event. We're gonna do the stories in the form of a little game. We're gonna play a game so you guys can understand just how weird this weekend was. Okay, we are going to play the first ever installment of Evan Blair Art: 2 Truths and a Lie. That's right. I'm gonna tell you 2 truths and a lie about something that happened there. Okay. And you have to guess which one didn't happen. So we're gonna do that a little bit later. What are we called? Spring breakers? Is that a thing? Did people do that in college? They go to spring break and share hotel rooms? Ooh, that seems dude. That's nasty. Isn't spring break supposed to be like? All right, never mind. I don't know. To be fair, I've never been on spring break, so I'm just thinking about stories. Maybe spring break is like casual event that somebody goes to in like the upcountry, you know, where everyone's wearing sweater vests and like equestrian gear or whatever. I don't know. Across the stream, thank you for the tier 1 for 23 months. How you doing, bro? What's up? Good to see you. Thank you for that. That's almost 2 years. Holy shit. That's a long time, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. How's it going? Good to see you. The carpool sounds okay, but sharing their hotel room, nope, not with a stranger. Well, they know each other, sort of, Jacob. They know each other from events, from market events. It's like you meet another vendor at the market. They sell, I don't know, fucking tea covered cozies or whatever, and you sell, I don't know, dice boxes. And then you're like, hey, are you going to this market in this city? Yeah, I am too. Let's share a hotel room. So they know each other, but like the problem is, I just don't think I could share a hotel room with like even my friends. Partially because I'm so allergic to shit that like I don't want y'all spraying no fucking body spray or some shit all over the bathroom, and then I gotta walk in there and have an allergic reaction because your dumbass can't afford real deodorant, you 15-year-old fuck. Nah. Yeah, it's just inconvenient and not a great time for me, so I don't do the whole hotel room share thingy. I typically want to have my own room and bathroom to myself, or well, to Ella and I, which is fine. Like when we go to Maui later on this year, we're going to be going to our family's condo, staying with them, to which Ella and I will have our own bedroom bathroom. And that's fine. I don't mind if there's a common area that's shared. That's okay. Not a big deal, but yeah, the whole sleeping in the same room as your homies and sharing a bathroom with all your homies, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not designed for it. Call me a prissy bitch, call me a hotel bougie asshole, but it's fine. No session view today because party's out of town. Is the party out of town, Ashy? IRL? Or is the party out of town in game? To which you should be at the session. You're just sitting here talking about it because they're currently leveling up. Because that's, you know. I shared Airbnb with people since we got our own areas. Can never share at a hotel. Yeah, hotels are a bit different. It wasn't that bad when I shared a hotel with my bro Earl. We also shared a hotel room at the Grand Hyatt in Tokyo, which is about $1,000 a night. That he got like free nights. He used his free like nights or whatever, and then used his like employee discount, and it ended up costing him like $120 a night or whatever per night. And he just covered it. He was like, "Nah, I'll get it. Don't worry about it." And so we were like, "Cool." So we stayed at the Grand Hyatt in Tokyo for free, more or less. We had to pay for a couple things, you know, because I was like, I don't want to pay for everything. But I tried to pay for stuff where I could on the trip, like taxis and shit like that. But still, it was a $1,000 a night hotel room, which was pretty decent. Was spacious, so it's not like you were stuffed right up against your bro, which is unusual for Japanese hotel rooms, because they sure do love putting you right in your friend's business when you're sleeping. IRL tour unavailable. Oh, okay, all right, that's fair. That's tragic. Planning your next session. The party is in the Bad Guys dungeons, and I'm thinking of doing like a rogues gallery in the cells to give the party an RP segment in their dungeon crawl, like a merchant, a foreign noble, and an evil but opposed faction NPC. Be a mercenary. That's still ooh, that's cool. Like they were in there for some fucking heist or some shit, or they're just all randomly in there together. I like that. That sounds good. I'd be always I'd be the DM like presenting some sort of murder mystery and not making it obvious who did it until the players are very sure they figured out one guy, and then I twist it to a different person. Sound like I'm a genius at writing, but that's the way I like to present myself as a DM. I gotta read more books though. There was a guy at the convention that was selling books. He was an independent author, independent publisher, and he had his books that he was selling. And I thought about buying a book because I needed a new book. And I don't know. I need to like figure out how to write better so I can actually write the first Eldarin linear narratives. So the party combating and stealthing for half session until they find the random room they want. Give them some choices to make. Ooh, choices. Overall, what is the weekend like? 1 to 10. Weekend was probably like a solid 6. You know, it was okay. It wasn't like an unreal market for Ella. It was like, yeah, you made your money back, and you know, you walk away with a little bit extra, but is it really worth the two of us taking an entire weekend off? Because like I didn't do any work over the weekend, obviously. I don't know. So I mean, we try and make it fun, and we met up with some of Ella's friends that she had made at the market, so I got to meet her and then the husband and whatnot. We went out for food, and it was nice, you know. It was nice, but it was still Edmonton, you know. There's not much we can do at Edmonton besides the mall or whatever. But let's here. I'll tell you guys about some stories about the event. So I have here written down my notepad. I have 2 truths and a lie. Okay, I have 2 truths and a lie. You guys have to figure out which is the truth and which is the lie. Which ones are the truth and which one is the lie? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go file, new window. All right, we're gonna play Evan Blair Art official Edmonton April 2024 trip. 2 truths and a lie. Okay, so the first category is bad food choices. Okay, the first potential truth or lie is I ate at A and W 6 times across 3 days. I ate at A and W 6 times across 3 days. Hold on, you make this bigger. Format, font. There we go. Font 16. Okay. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2 is I ate 8 donuts across 3 days. I ate 8 donuts across 3 days. The third potential truth or lie is I ate French fries with every single meal. What do you guys think? Which one's a lie? 2 of these are true. 2 of these, unfortunately, are true. 1 of them is a lie. 1 of them is a lie. But the question is, which one is the lie? Lie equals donuts? Is donut really? You guys think there's no way I could pack 8 donuts across 3 days, but you think that I can eat A and W 6 times across 3 days and French fries with every single meal? Really? Got it. Pull started. Oh, you're pulling it. All right. Which one's the lie? Which one's the lie? 8 donuts, A&W, or French fries with all meals? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's up there. The poll is there. You could, but you wouldn't. Listen, man. The thing is, Atari, all of these are bad. No matter what the lie is, the truths are terrible. Okay, it's all bad. Okay. How clean have you been eating before the con? Exceptionally. I've been doing very well, actually. And post-con, Ella and I have a new sort of like plan here of some things we're going to do dietary-wise that I'm very excited about. And I'm very much looking forward to getting some progress. You know, on a different vector. Because I've been getting a lot of progress during the gym and getting stronger over the winter. But now that it is warming up and I can actually go on walks, I'm planning on trying to return to cutting in the next couple of weeks. So I'm very much looking forward to it. But yeah, I was super clean before and then mediocre clean over the last day or so. I'm doing good, Azura. How you doing? How do I vote? They're all true and you're describing me? No, stop. It's not. I'm not calling you out. What do you mean they're all true? Did the D-Gen escape get loose this weekend? I mean, look, man. These are all pretty bad. If French fries with every meal is true, that's pretty bad. If 8 donuts across 3 days is true, that's atrocious. And if A&W 6 times is true, I'd be concerned. But I'm curious to see which one you think is the lie. Because you guys are voting for the lie right now. I'm very curious. I don't have it up. I wanna know. I wanna know absent of what I wanna I wanna see how exactly what brand of degeneracy you guys think I am. Eating French fries for breakfast, lunch, dinner, midnight snack for 3 days has to be the lie. Who the fuck eats a midnight snack? To be fair, I don't eat past like 7 p.m. ever. No matter what. If my dinner is scheduled for 8 because we've got friends to meet or whatever, I wouldn't eat. Okay? I wouldn't eat that day. Which happened actually once on the trip. Dinner's too late and I was like, I'll pass. And everyone's like, oh, why? Just have something small. And I was like, I will pass, motherfucker. It is 8:30. You can get fucked. All right, what do you guys think the lie is? 8 donuts across 3 days. So you guys think that I ate A&W 6 times across 3 days. You think that I ate French fries with every single meal. But surely there is no way that I could eat 8 donuts across 3 days. The answer. The lie is I did not eat French fries with every single meal. There's no way, man. I ate a lot of French fries, okay? Listen, since I can't have any food that's like that is like has spices or anything on it, going out for dinner is very stressful. Because you go for like chicken tendies or something, or whatever. Chicken tendies, sometimes they put spices on them or whatever. There's certain fast food I can't go to. I can't go to KFC now because they started putting spice in their fries or whatever. Like I can't do that. But I can, when I'm on a trip, I eat degenerately. I either eat like at a grocery store, I buy like grocery store food, or I eat like a lot of sushi if it's available, not in Edmonton, or I eat decrepit amounts of fast food. So I did not eat french fries at every single meal. This is the lie. I did eat A&W 6 times a day, or 6 times across 3 days. I ate A&W for breakfast 3 times, lunch once, and dinner twice. And I was like, I ate A&W 6 times across 3 days. And I did eat 8 donuts across 3 days. You know why? Because we drove by a location in. Why is Ella calling me? Yes, hello? Okay. What do I need to inform chat? For my dignity? Okay. I'm trying. I'm in the middle of it. It's probably delayed. No, good call. Yeah. Okay. Fine. You were not driving back to Donut Mill. Okay, all right. So in between Calgary and Edmonton, there is a place called Donut Mill. Donut Mill is a place that makes donuts. The donuts are amazing. Ella and I will always buy a pack of 6 donuts on the way there, and we have them for the weekend. Then on the way home, we buy a pack of 12 or 24 donuts for our family and people who want them. Where it's like, oh shit, Evan and Ella are doing a Donut Mill run, like, and come back to Calgary on Monday. So I stop in before we go home. We stop in at our parents' place and whatnot. And so Ella did not want her donuts. And I didn't want I don't want them to go bad. I don't want to spend money on food. So I just kind of shrugged and was like, breakfast, all right, whatever. I'll just eat a donut. Hungry at the convention, I'll just eat a donut. So I did eat 8 donuts across 3 days. That did happen. It was degenerate, and I still feel like I need a fucking salad, but I'm slowly returning. All right, the next up is what do we call this category? The next category is, let's call it convention life. So the first truth or lie is a furry asked. Oh wait, we got it lowercase. Furry asked me to pet them. A furry asked me to pet them. The second is a lady got mad at me for being a dude. And the third truth or lie is a TDC member surprised me. So, I'll tell you the stories. A furry asked me to pet them. Fursuit on, full on, ooh-wooing, whatever. A lady got unfortunately mad at me for being a dude. They were very unfortunately upset that I was there and was a guy and was not and that it was not just Ella because yeah. Number 3, a surprise Dragon's Claim member visit. One person who I knew lived in Alberta, I did not know lived near Edmonton, and decided to find their way to the market. And she said, "Hey, what's up?" And she said, and she said, "Surprise." So which one is the 2 of these are true, 1 is a lie. Either a furry asked me to pet them, a lady got mad at me for being a dude, or a TDC member surprised me. Which one do you think is the lie? Which one is the lie? Because they're all legitimately unfortunate. Any of these things, these surprises could be legitimately unfortunate. You know, having a real life person confront me over my embarrassing bullshit, that could be a lie. Having somebody be mad at me because I'm standing there and being a dude, that could be unfortunate. Or a furry asking me to pet them, that could be unfortunate as well. So the poll is up. Thank you, Blaze. I'm guessing, Blaze, you're the one doing the poll. Warning, Meegs. TC member was a furry, so 2 must be the lie. Okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see. I guess lady being mad at you is a lie. You don't draw enough cat girls anymore, so furries love you enough to pet them. Stop. Stop. The only interactive NA is infamous for having loads of Karens, so 2 is very likely. Listen, I don't know, man. I'm curious to see what you guys think is the lie. 2 of these are true. 2 of these things happen. And I have a story for each one of them. One of them is, in fact, a lie. So, I mean, what did we? I thought I missed some chat. Oh, no, we're just us enjoying donuts. Yeah, that's a lot of donuts. What were you thinking? I was thinking donut military. Here, I'll show you. While the poll's going, I'll show you my shame. Look. I'll show you my shame. This is the donut mill. It's a mill. And it has donuts. And their donuts are gigantic by Canadian donut standards. It ain't no Texas donut. But they got them coconut donuts. They got them Oreo donut with the chocolate whipped cream inside. They got them Venetian cream. All right, so you guys think that a furry asked me to pet them. You think that was the lie? You think that was the lie, that the furry asked me to pet them? A furry, in fact, did ask me to pet them. That was a truth. You guys got that one wrong. Most of you thought that the furry was the lie. It was a furry, but he wasn't wearing full fur suit. Okay, I don't know. I need to like talk to a furry expert on this to figure out the terminology, right? Because he wasn't in full fursuit. He was in, like, he had his fur fucking head on or whatever. And he had like a vest, like a fucking butler vest or whatever with like coattails. And then he has little furry paws and his furry feet and his tail sticking out of I don't know where, and I don't care. And he kept like doing this at me, and I was like, okay. He came by once, and Ella, and I just didn't acknowledge. I was just drawing writing some in my book, trying not to make eye contact. Ella, like, hi, oh, you know, what's up? She's being friendly because she's like the dice vendor. They leave. I'm like, oh, okay, we're good. Apparently the guy came back later and was looking at Ella's dice. I'm not sure if he bought any of them. I think he did, actually, which is very sweet of him. But bought some of Ella's dice later, non-fursuited. But later I was like standing there. Ella had gone to talk to her friend Selena or whatever, or some shit. And I was just standing there, you know, at the desk or whatever. And they came back, and the furry was all, "Oh my god, the dice are so pretty," and of course not saying anything because they're weird. But then he like, I was like, it's a cool thing you got going on there. I don't know what to call it. Like, I don't know if it's a fursuit, if it's just the top or whatever. It looks cool. Yeah, I'm trying to be nice, right? And then he starts doing this, and I'm like, are you itchy? Is that like I don't get it. And the girl he was with said, he says he wants you to pet him. And I was like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, I just put lotion on my hands like a couple minutes ago, and it's that like really like kind of viscousy ointment, like medicated stuff. So, you know, I don't want to like shake anyone's hand right now or like, you know, touch anything or whatever. If you want to buy something, Ella's just off, you know, she'll be back in a minute. She's handling all that. I don't want to touch the dice or money or the phone, or certainly not your beautiful fur thing. So yeah, so I did not in fact pet the furry, but that is unfortunately true. So number 2, a lady got mad at me for being a dude. Or number 3, a TDC member surprised me. One of these is a lie, the other is a truth. I'm surprised everyone thought that the furry thing was a lie. Would have been a lie, I guess, if I said I pet a furry, but I tried to word it very specifically. Of the two, both are unfortunate. Both require a level of social delicacy. In fact, the truth is rather disturbing, and the lie is a TDC member did not surprise me at this convention. All right, there was no TDC members that showed up to this one. I know there's a couple of Edmontonians that that showed up or that were our TDC members, but none of them have been in chat in a while, I don't think, and none of them showed up at the event. So the TDC member did not surprise me like last time, where Atari surprised me at Calgary Game Con, which was lovely, and I got to meet Atari and talk to him face to face, which he's just a champ. All right, I'm sure I haven't checked my Discord since Friday night, but I'm sure there's stories of running the game, and I needed an update, Atari, on how it went. If you didn't post it, I'm assuming you posted something about it in Discord, but if not, I need to ask you questions. No, unfortunately, a lady did get mad at me because I was a dude. Yeah, I was standing there, and Ella was like, you know, doing some stuff or whatever. And I didn't tell Ella about this. I forgot to tell her about this. So if Ella's watching, this is news to her probably. But she was off in the bathroom this time, I remember distinctly. And this woman waddles by, sorry, and is like, oh, pretty, as she like kind of like looks up, like gets her sticky little fingers all up on some of Ella's dice and examines them. And I was like, oh yeah, those cherry blossoms, my wife hand paints them. And she's like, oh, so your wife does all the work. And I was like, well, yeah, yeah, she's the one that makes the dice. And she says, and let me guess, you're the one that gets paid for them. I was like, no, I mean, like my wife's here, I'm just helping her with her booth. And she was like, uh-huh, so you think she needs help? And just kind of like nods as like, okay, what an asshole. And just like waddles away. And I was like, what did I do? I just came to support my wife at then something else happened more immediately right after that, Ella, that made me forget about it. I forget what it was, but you came back from the bathroom. Oh, you know what it was? It was, remember when those dudes came back and I called you because dude wanted to buy 2 sets, the geodes or whatever. That's when I called you, and I didn't say anything. I just called you, so your phone would ring. And so when you came back, the dude was there and wanted to buy like a bunch of dice, like an expensive amount of dice. And so you were super stoked, and I was super stoked, and he was super excited. And Ella had to like sit there cleaning a set of dice because he wanted an unclean set of dice from her like her whatever, her like backlog whatever selection. So she had to sit there for 10 minutes cleaning the last set of dice for him, packaged it up, gave it to him, and we were pretty pumped after that because it was like that was the first big sale of the weekend. You know, 2 dice, one for premium sets of dice. So I forgot entirely to complain about the Karen that got mad at me because I was usurping my wife's business. But no, yeah, a lady did get mad at me simply for being a dude, you know. So that was rough. But hey, it's okay because there's one more, and then this one is on a high note. All right, we're to end this one on a high note. 2 truths and a lie. We're gonna call this downtime. So, downtime. We played at the arcade every single night we were there. That is one. The next, we went to Hot Pot with a group of emotionally damaged dice makers. Or we walked 30 kilometers around one single mall over 2 days. All right, there it is. 2 truths and a lie. Downtime. We have the food. We had the bad food choices. We had the convention life, and finally the downtime. What did we do after the convention was over every night? Did we play at the arcade every single night we were there without exception? Did we go to Hot Pot with a group of emotionally damaged dice makers? Or did we walk 30 kilometers around one single mall over 2 days? What's an arcade? It's some place for nerds. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just some dumb shit for nerds. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Don't overthink it, I guess. What kind of hot pot did you exclusively have, Evan, or was it just a pot of hot water? It was Chinese hot pot. There's not really any other... I mean, if you want specificity, Oda, it was Taiwanese hot pot, which I'm sure a Taiwanese person would get very mad at you if you didn't distinguish their hot pot between them and general Chinese hot pot, though to the vast majority of Chinese-speaking friends that I have between Mandarin, Canto, and Chinese Taiwanese, they all just call it hot pot. So it's one of those distinctions that no one needs to get mad about, but I'm sure somebody would. It's like a studio library, but like everyone gets to play. Sounds gross to me. Yeah. 9 miles a day is a lot. That's a lot. It's 9 miles is a lot, man. Just want to check if you had the backstory for this potential truth or lie. Oh, here's the thing. I am a D&D player, though, Oda. So you could ask me the backstory of each one of these, and I would give you a convincing backstory for all of them. For the truth and the lie. If you're going to try and get me on details of like, you know, oh, did I eat a lobster roll or a hot dog? And they're like, oh, well, what was on the lobster roll, Evan? You know, like, dude, I spend Tuesdays for 4 hours on stream demonstrating to Fishy exactly how good I am at making shit up on the fly. So, all right, which one won? So you guys think that I walked 30K in the mall? You think that I went to a sad boy hot pot that I couldn't eat at, but you don't think that I played at the arcade each day. Interesting. You know, you like having hot pot? Well, I can't eat hot pot. Remember? Because I'm like, my stomach can't handle food with like good stuff in it, Viddy. So whenever I get invited to those kind of dinners, I go and I just say I'm not eating tonight. And usually what I do, Viddy, is I tell people I'm fasting. And people, instead of saying like, oh, I have these like weird like health problems, like I can't eat a lot of food right now, that it's like it's like an allergy thing, but like it's just a little weird. People kind of get a little like, oh, it's unfortunate. Oh, now it's awkward because, oh, should we have found somewhere where Evan can eat? Like, oh no, should we have done something else? I hate that. So whenever I have to go to a meal that I can't eat at, Viddy, I always just say, oh, I'm in my fasting window right now, and I'm really trying hard to lose my weight, so I don't want to mess around with it. And people are usually like, oh wow, so strong, like great, you know. But if I have to do that, let's say I'm going to like my in-laws' house, like my dad's house for dinner or whatever, and I know they're making some sort of meal that I can't eat, right? Like if it's a general, like they'll usually make food that's pretty good for what I can eat. Like if Elle and I are the only ones going over, But if we're going to like a larger dinner, like an Easter or Christmas dinner, and I know I can't eat shit there, I will often have pre-game McDonald's on the way there. We'll stop at McDonald's. I'll eat in the car on the way. And then when we get there, I'm like, sorry, guys, I'm not eating tonight. You know, because I don't want to risk. It's like, I don't want to risk eating something that's going to mess me up. Like garlic's an example. I can't eat garlic right now. If I do, it'll give me a fucking reflux attack so bad I have to go to the hospital. I'm not kidding. And so I once went to a family member's house and I was like, oh, hey, is this like just plain potatoes or plain pierogies or petahe? And they're like, oh, yeah, it is. There's nothing in it. I'm like, oh, is there anything in the filling? Is there anything like, no, it's just cheese and potato. I was like, anything in the cheese and potato? Like just salt and pepper. And I was like, okay, great. And I'm eating a pierogi and I'm like, this tastes like garlic or onion or something. Like, wait, what am I doing here? This is weird. But I'm like, no, I said there wasn't anything. Maybe it's just my brain is like giving me, and I eat 2 full pierogies and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm getting like a bit of a garlic taste here. Like it's just so weird. Like I don't think I can finish these. Maybe it's in my head. Like, are you sure there wasn't any garlic in this? And like, oh, well, we put garlic in the water to flavor it. I was like, that's not this. That's I can't. You're trying to kill me. So I'd be very careful whenever I go out. Got 7 Pokemon Go gifts for me from Edmonton, so I feel like the mall walking is true. All right, so you guys think that I did not spend every night in the arcade. You do think that I went to Hot Pot with a group of emotionally damaged dice makers. You do think that we walked 30 kilometers around one single mall over 2 days. But you do not think that we played at the arcade every single night. The lie. Actually, truth number 1 is, you're right. We did walk 30 kilometers around one single mall over 2 days. We played a lot of Pokemon Go. We had a lot of fun. We just sort of wandered in the evenings, and it stacks up. West Edmonton Mall is massive. It's fucking huge. All right, it's ridiculous. So we could walk around it many times, and we got a lot of steps in. I forgot to check my Pokemon Go. I'm position 18,000. Someone remind me in an hour or two to check my position in queue for Celesteela. So, yeah, we did walk, in fact, 30 kilometers around the mall. That is true. Now, between the two, you guys think that we didn't play at the arcade every night, but you do think we went to a Hot Pot with a group of emotionally damaged dice makers. The lie is we were invited to go to Hot Pot with a group of emotionally damaged dice makers. We did, however, spend every single night at least a little portion of it at the arcade, because in West Edmonton Mall there is a big arcade called the Rec Room that's connected into it. The food is pretty decently priced because you pay a lot of money for other things in there. It's kind of like an adult arcade, I guess. You could like describe it more adulty or whatever. Like it's just kind of more grown up. They serve alcohol and shit like that. And Ella's friend Selena and her husband Garrett love the Rec Room. They fucking love that shit. They go to the Rec Room in Calgary all the time. They love that shit. And so Ella and I were like, hey, let's meet up with them. Where do you want to meet? And like, wow, let's meet at Rec Room. Great. So we met them up there and we hung out there for a while and played some games and did some stuff and had food. And the next night when we're done the convention, we were like, what are we gonna do? I guess we're gonna go walk around the mall again, because that's all you can do at Edmonton that's safe. Okay, we'll walk around the mall. And then since we're walking around the mall, it's like, hey, do you guys want to get food? And we all look around each other like, yeah, I don't know, like let's sit down somewhere. Like, do you want to get food court or whatever? Nah, nobody want a food court. I'm like, I'm gonna get A&W because I can eat it. And then we're gonna go get food at the place you guys all want to get food at. So let's just go to the Rec Room and get food there, because food's like decently priced. And then while we're there, we were like, hey, should we play some games? We're like, okay, why not? So yes, we did in fact play at the arcade every single night. It's less of a like video gamey arcade and more of a tickety kind of arcade. It's got lots of like those American sort of ticket arcade games like Skee Ball and Coin Pusher and stuff like that. It's got a couple of standard arcade games, a couple of racing games, some shooters, you know, Jurassic Park and House of the Dead and stuff like that. But it's mostly, I'd say, a ticket arcade. But it was fun. It was cool. You know, it was tiring. So we did spend every single night at the arcade. And no, we did not go to Hot Pot with a group of emotionally damaged dice makers, because I asked Ella, I said, do you want to go and do that? And she said, she said no. So we didn't. Yeah. That's yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There it is, man. That's the Edmonton edition of Two Truths and a Lie. So to recap, I ate at A&W 6 times across 3 days. I ate 8 donuts across 3 days. A furry asked me to pet them. A lady got mad at me for being a dude. We played. Oh, she also made some sort of comment about patriarchy or whatever. I don't know. She was mumbling as she was walking away. We played an arcade every single night, and we walked 30 kilometers around one single mall over 2 days. So that was my weekend. That was the EBA Two Truths and a Lie for my trip. We will do a more extensive Two Truths and a Lie when I come back from Maui, and hopefully it's a little more obvious next time. I'm surprised. Honestly, here's the thing. The one that caught me the most off guard is that y'all didn't think that I'd polish 8 donuts away in 3 days. Like, bro, I get it. I've lost about 90 pounds now. I put on a whole bunch of muscle, right? Like I'm doing it. I'm in the mode of like health and fitness and stuff. I'm still fat as fuck, you know, but I'm in the mode of like going on the right direction. But inside me is a very, very fat kid that just wants to eat donut and cake. Like, inside still, I am not a fit person or on my way to being a fit person because I have changed my lifestyle and I've purged myself of certain things so that I want not for sweets and want not for unhealthy chemical foods. I am not some sort of saintly individual that has accumulated enough self whatever to be able to, you know, meditate away hunger pangs and cravings. No, I am at war every single day that I go to the gym, that I eat within my macros, that I eat within a calorie deficit. Every single day that I go for a walk that's at least an hour, or I hit my 10K step count, or I do whatever, is a fucking battle. It is me flying down the cliffside with the Balrog, okay, and my sword of Glamdring on his chest, crashing with fire and steel to try and not eat 8 fucking donuts, okay? So to think that I couldn't easily and wouldn't easily polish off 8 goddamn donuts, dude, I guess this is good because you guys think higher of me than I deserve. So thank you for that. But no, I am still internally, if you allow me to be, a extraordinarily fat kid. So but they were delicious. So I probably won't have a donut again until the next time we go to Edmonton in June, to which we will stop at the donut mill on the way there and on the way back. And yes, I will probably eat like 5 donuts in 3 days. It's just the way it is, man. Ella was feeling a little sick, so she didn't want her donuts, and I didn't want to let them go to waste. So I did eat more donuts than I usually would. I wouldn't have normally eaten fucking 8 donuts, but I certainly could. So yeah, you hope for it. Donuts thing is the most believable thing of all. Is it? You're working hard about your health. Didn't know you were easily broken. Absolutely, Oda. I am a fragile creature. All right, my diet, my like everything that I do health and fitness wise, if I go on a short vacation to somewhere that I'm uncomfortable in, like Edmonton, I throw it all out the window. When I go to Maui or when I go to Japan, I'm actually pretty good about it. I haven't gone to Japan since I started being a healthier person. But whenever I was in Japan, it's kind of almost a little bit impossible not to eat better than when you're in North America. There's less sweets, there's less unhealthy shit. Sure, there's ramen and tonkatsu and stuff, but you can eat a lot of sushi and a lot of fish and a lot of fresh stuff, and it's actually pretty easy to eat clean in Japan. And when I was in Maui last year, or the year before, or whatever, yeah, year before, I had just been starting my fitness journey. And so every day I was eating like fruits and meat and yogurt and high protein stuff, low carbs. I was swimming every day. I was walking like 15K steps. I was super health conscious and health active while we were in Maui last time. But if I have to go to somewhere like Edmonton, I am in survival mode. Okay, I'm just in survive the weekend mode, and I will revert to all of my worst habits and worst forms to try and just get through the weekend. So again, it doesn't matter the ability. If you wanted to polish off a dozen of donuts, that's true. I probably could have slain more donuts, but I don't know. You go to French fries. That's here's the thing. I thought that was an obvious lie, Nix, because eating French fries for breakfast would seem a little bit rough. You know, I usually only have 2 meals a day, but I had 3 meals a day for a couple of times there. But yeah, that was a lot of A&W. But I had breakfast sandwiches and stuff at A&W instead of French fries, so I did not eat French fries with every single meal, unfortunately. You're stronger than me, Evan. I would have eaten all 8 donuts in one day. As soon as you just asked for plain French fries. Yeah, it depends on where I'm going. Most places, so most places that aren't trying to be fancy have decent French fries that I could eat, right? Like that is a safe out for me. If we go somewhere that's like a chain restaurant, like a Milestones or Moxie's or Earl's or whatever, you know, or the Keg or whatever, like nicer sit down restaurants that are still a chain but aren't like Denny's or like fast food or whatever, you know. Places that are about $100 for 2 people to eat, those kind of places, they usually have French fries I can eat because it's hit or miss, but usually it's okay because it's pretty basic. No one's trying to do anything fancy. Pubs are okay typically, but some of the higher end like places that are going to be like you know, chain restaurants that are a little more expensive, a little bougier, a little bit higher end, or like non-chain restaurants, I can't eat any French fries there because they usually put some fancy spices, or like we have some garlic truffle oil and a Parmesan aioli, and I'm like, dude, I can't eat this shit. I just give me a russet potato, cut it into wedges, and deep fry it. I'll salt it. It's fine. You don't even have to do that. Just help. So no, eating out's really stressful for me because I have to like think about it quite a bit. Like when I was in Maui last year, I ate mostly just fish and French fries when we went out for dinners. When we were at like the condo and we were able to make food and stuff, I made a lot of like eggs in the morning and had yogurt and fruit and like, you know, good shit. But whenever we go out for like a meal somewhere, I would get like French fries because those are safe, and or like steamed rice. A lot of places had that. And plain, I'd ask for like, I'd order whatever the fish is with none of the preparation on it. So I'd order like a mahi fillet or like an ahi steak or whatever it is, and it's like, oh, it comes with like a buttered caper lemon, you know, something sauce, and I'm like, hey, can I like, I'm like allergic to a lot of things, and I just want plain fish, salt and lemon. That's it. Can I just have salt and lemon fish? And most places are like, yeah, sure, man, that's easy, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I should try it in Calgary and Edmonton next time I'm there. We'll see. Who knows? Reminds me of the aioli we had, the fancy castle in the mountains. It was good. See, I couldn't eat it. I was too bold. I had a salad when we were there. I was too bold. I had a salad. I thought it'd be okay if I had the dressing on the side. I didn't think they'd put stuff on it like garlic and shit. And so I had, on the way back to the city, I had a terrible reflux attack in the car, in like my silence in the back of the SUV, that caused me to not be able to eat for the rest of the weekend. As you guys remember, I just didn't eat at any restaurants or whatever, which sucked. So you know, I'll be more careful next time, I guess. Anyway, that was the weekend. It was good. Ella sold a bunch of sets. She sold her geode sets. Did you guys ever see any pictures of her geode sets? I'm not sure if she took a picture of them. Hold on, I want to show you guys. Instagram real quick. I'm very proud of her for this before we get into our project today. Instagram Blackwood Dice. I see no geodes. Ella. Your Instagram. It's your Discord? Oh, is it? Oh, thank you, Nix. Yeah, Discord. I also haven't been in Discord in a while. Was it in Finished Work or Dice Goblin Support Group? Where'd she post it? Not in support group. Finished. Oh wait, is this a? Wait. There's Viddy's Blackwood Dice Hall. I bet it was in Stream Topics. I bet. Ella, stop posting pictures of your burger that you got at Rec Room. Okay, this is not. Oh yeah. Okay, here it is. Look at it. You gotta mute your videos, Ella. There it is. There's the geodes. So somebody was absolutely enchanted. He was like, my birthstone is amethyst. I need to own these. Like, got it. Got it, boss. There also was another guy that was trying to figure out which set he wanted. And he was going to roll the dice to see which set that he wanted. So he rolled both the d20s in each set. And on the set he really liked, which was like a space cosmic set, he rolled the dice and got 2 natural ones. And was like, not that set. Not that set. Not, put it away. Not that set. So, yeah, he didn't buy that one. But alas. All right, so hold on. So also, most importantly, there was an event that Atari went to and DM'd the first Realms of Eldara adventure beta prototype version 0.1.3b, which was a side quest. I don't know what the ship was for. I didn't write a ship into the side quest, so that's fucking cool. I saw, where was that? Was it the TDC Gaming Club? Oh no, those are fucking badass screenies though. What the fuck? I go away for 3 days and I missed some good shit. That's actually Pog. Dedicated to Horizon. That's true, actually. How are you doing Crimson, good. What's up, bro?
Good to see you, man.
I just
no.
Stop.
Not again.
Yeah, no,
the TTS
I'm being.
Isn't supposed to be a script.
You can't.
But thank you for being here.
You can't just.
Good to see you, man.
You can't just script me like that, bro. That's not fair, Crimson. I'm not that predictable. Okay. How's it going, man? Thanks 100 bits. I appreciate it. What's up, Crimson? What's good, man? In general. Okay, it's in general. All right. On the board, I guess. What do we got? What do we got? The adventure expanded from Evan's side quest. First Light of the Horizon. New island has arisen from the depths of the abyssal domain after long work of turning the land of Eldritch Horrors into the thriving community it has begun. The Lady Viceroy Luna Aerolace has marshaled her family's fortunes to settle the island by clearing out the remaining abyssal mutants, building a respectable town, and creating a safe skyship harbor. She is the driving force behind the island's developments for the betterment of all. The adventure begins with our heroes arriving on the docks in a hastily booked passage across or aboard a trading vessel, bringing needed supplies to the vibrant, optimistic town of Horizon. Ooh. 4 very nice people who are excited to be the first Realms of Eldara adventurers in the wild. A good time is had by all. Look at them. They're the D&D players. They went on an adventure, bro. This is so cool. Do you know how happy this makes me? I am so deeply honored. I mean, I know you probably did everything. Like, you probably redid everything anyway, because it's all crap, Atari. But your friendly neighborhood DM after session 2, 5 players this time, including a wonderful little 15-year-old girl who threw a ruffian off the ship and watched as he fell 2,000 feet straight down into the abyss. Wow, look at him. He's got a GM screen. The print. The Realms of Eldara. The Abyssal Monstrosities. Look at it, dude. Yeah, tokens there. They got their character sheets. Oh, this is so good, man. On the board today, Paranoia, Whitewash, My Little Pony role-playing. This is supposed to be a serious TTRPG convention. Why the fuck is My Little Pony role-playing game infecting its way into real, legitimate RPG conventions? Coriolis, the prophets of Marakanda, D&D 5e Realms of Eldara, first level adventure. Call of Cthulhu, the Dead Border, Prelude to Kursk, the One Ring 2e, the Watchtowers of An Yu Min, and then I rest reward. Candela Obscure Assignment number 15, 1932, My Sweet, and Call of Cthulhu, the Necropolis. Look at it. Look at it, man. We got the Realms of Eldara in the whole list there. Good morning, walking, feeling good, my friend. Now I'm doing some planning for my next project. Oh shit! What's on the net? What's on the anvil next, Oda? Basically, 3 encounters. I took your beast and Hamlet encounters and started with a fight on the docks. That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of like missing context from that side quest. But Atari, how did you find? So you were the first person to actually experience and read what I had, the style and cadence of game that I have. So, assuming that there will be more art and assets peppered around and like World Anvil articles for certain things, if you want to go learn more about this thing or that thing, just sort of in there. Did you like the amount of like guidance provided in the adventure? Was it too much? Was it too little? Or where was it in the balance? Like, 'cause I actually legitimately have no idea. I'm prepared to hear you say any of those answers. It was way too much of it. You need to give way more open freedom, whatever. Or, bro, you need way more dialogue and way more specific stuff because I don't know what I'm supposed to do when I get to the town. Like, I don't know how much is like required or in there for the adventure. If you can imagine that Horizon is going to be the entire adventure is going to be written like that side quest. Luna shows up after the fight on the docks. That's fair.
How are we doing today, Evan?
Magnificent, Senex. I'm chilling, bro. How you doing? What's up? What's good? Thanks for having a bit, Senex. Good morning to you. So too much for a one shot. Okay. But as far as like if the whole adventure is written like that, I can have them wandering around. I needed to get them fighting on track for the Hamlet pretty quick. Okay. Right. Some of the contextualization is a little bit. Yeah. Okay. All right. So for campaigning, it's great. Okay, cool. Because that's the way the rest of the entire adventure is written, which it makes it a lot more wordy than I thought it was going to be, which I didn't want to have too many instances of like, hey, this person says this or this person does this thing specifically. But I want to give some GMs that want a little bit of that like rigidity or a little bit of that structure those opportunities to be like, I don't know what the fucking dude says to them when he meets them. I don't, And so, oh, here's some dialogue that whatever. The part about Lord Ashton, I couldn't work into the adventure meaningfully. That's fair. Well, that's the thing is like I grabbed a part of this adventure out from like the whole of it and just put it on a page for you. So yeah, I know there'd be a lot of missing context around Luna and around Lord Ashton and some of the other factions and stuff, like who the fuck is Endymion and whatever. So thank you for the stretch or a small microtransaction. Wait, that's just a small microtransaction, not a stretch one. Congratulations on your small microtransaction. I hope it serves you well in the field. Made up the Airlace Rangers. What are the Airlace Rangers? Because Luna has a town guard that is sort of loyal to her. The whole kind of like issue when the party gets there, and this isn't too big of a spoiler, but the town guard is a militia that is being sort of influenced by Lord Ashton via money, because they had to set up a town guard, town militia, and they just sort of asked random adventurers like, hey, do you want to like agree to contract to be a town guard for a year, and you get decent pay, you don't have to go anywhere, you just chill. So the town guard, when it was first formed, was basically willing adventurers. but they don't have like any loyalty to Horizon. They didn't grow up there. They want to like live there maybe at some point in time, or maybe they do live there now, but they don't have any loyalty to Horizon. They don't have their parents and ties there. They don't really care if the city is, you know, who runs it or whatever. Luna's great, but if somebody else is going to pay them more, like they don't care. So Lord Ashen's trying to like sort of usurp her and gain influence of the town guard, eventually to take power and leave Luna as more of a figurehead and kind of create some sort of like council structure that he's the head of, that he can kind of run Horizon then and make policy for it. And Luna has her family's guard though, and which is a small group of about 20 or so guards that are very high level elite guards, but obviously can't police an entire town. So one of the things that happens in the actual adventure is Luna gives you a note that you can give to her, any of her guards, if you needed help. It's like a one-time like get out of jail kind of card, that if you needed help from one of her guards in town, if you got in trouble with the town guard, or if you got whatever, you could like present it to one of her guards, and her guard's authority would supersede whatever the town guard is. Because there's another little small side quest plot line that you can go down to try and like figure out the whole Lord Ashton thing if you want to be a little more cloak and daggery. But I don't really know if I want to write that in as a formal side quest. I might later on, but for the first original, like the release version of Horizon, I might have it. But the beta release or the beta version of Horizon, which is going to come out in May, isn't going to have it probably. So they're loyal to her, and I set up another adventure with an argument between them and the guard. And the first group of guardsmen beat from Ashton's crew. Right, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a lot to get into a one shot. The guards are mercenaries more than anything. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the problem is, like, what do? You get this, like, you gain viceroyship over this small island. You are sort of commissioned to, you know, as like a leader, and your duty is to, the main duties of like Horizon or anyone who takes over one of these islands are to make the island safe. So set up a, you are mostly a logistics and management kind of person on that end. So your job is to set up a base, like a barracks of some kind, and try and recruit soldiers to like defend the island. And the island comes pre-cleared of any abyssal monstrosities, so you don't really have to deal with that, but there are small little like delves and stuff that were missed, so you know, good luck. But it shouldn't be abyssal. The druids like grow it up and, like, you know, make flora and fauna abundant on it and whatever, and kind of establish the island, right? Your job when you move in as the viceroy is to set up barracks in a town so that you can have people living there that are going to keep the island safe, as well as the researchers have a place to sort of like come back to. So you want to, some people set it up as like a very sparse base that has like a bit of a, like an inn and like a lodging area for the researchers and the guards, and not much else, like maybe a little store or a shop or something. But Luna wanted to make it fairly nice, so she wanted to bring in places for like any of the researchers could bring. She wanted to build a town for them, so when they weren't doing their research work at the ruins, they could come back in a town and there's places to shop and eat and stay and people to meet and a library and whatever else. She wanted to make sure that anyone who came in to be a guard on the island could bring their family with them, and there'd be, you know, room to build a house and start a life. She's trying to start a new town basically so that she can run a very well, like a very desirable trade port and trade city in the Shattered Sea. It's like mostly a business opportunity on the surface, but as you talk to Luna more, you find out there's actually other meaningful reasons why she's doing the took on the role of Lady Viceroy of Horizon. So it's kind of I don't want to spoil too much there, but I'll see the group of rangers to be NPCs and basically cannon fodder for the beast. I suppose it depends on the type of campaign people want to run, political intrigue or abyssal horror hunting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what I guess I can't really write it for one group or the other. I just kind of have to write it and hope for the best, you know? I think the druids hadn't quite gotten everywhere yet. The druids had basically, from what I had like the way I think of how to colonize an island, basically, from or terraform or whatever an island before you can colonize it. What you do is you go there and you dispatch groups of paladins from one of the grand orders, you know, in the Shattered Sea. They would go there on the Senate, on their bill, basically, and they would set up a camp and they would exterminate all the abyssal horrors that they could. So everything on the surface, everything hiding in obvious caves, they do the delves, they do whatever, they try and clear the entire island out. The problem is there's going to be like small pocketed sealed chambers that might have abyssals in them that the paladins might miss. So they will come back and they'll leave a little contingent there on the island to kind of clean up areas. The problem with the hamlet is that there's a lot of these little pockets. So the paladins are like busy doing other stuff, and they'll get to the hamlet eventually, but it might be weeks. And they're like, we can't wait weeks, so that's why we're getting adventurers to do it. That's why they're hiring you. After the majority of the paladins leave the island, clear it out, and make it safe for people to land on, that's when the druids come and just basically spray life magic all over it. They just have like a life magic garden hose that they spray across the entire island to make it verdant, to make it like it lush where it can be lush, to make it like a grassy plains with trees and shrubs and whatever. And if so requested, which was requested, there is a very large foresty jungle just to the north of the Horizon City that is the beast that you can go into and slay in the jungle. That's where they get a lot of their game and hunting and stuff. And so the druids will focus their life magic there for a couple days and grow a large verdant jungle in just a few weeks, after their magic has been injected into the world. And then after that, they sort of bring in various creatures and beasts and animals to create it and design an ecosystem. And I'm not sure how it's going to work yet, if it's going to be a summoning type thing or if it's going to be just literally transporting animals in mass to this island. I don't know. But once they do all that, then the island is sort of ready for researchers and for the ownership, the new overseers to come in. So that would have been when Luna arrived with her kind of like galleons of supplies and Airlace family guards and builders and masons and whatnot, as well as the researchers would have arrived. The researchers would go off and set up their camp right by the Eldari runes. Luna sets up the city of Horizon that she wants, maybe another one across the way, who cares, and then begins to build out from that and do a bunch of city planning, and they build different infrastructure. And so Horizon's only about a year and a half old, I think. So it's still stuff is still going on in that vein, but yeah. I was also going to expand the Abyssal Mutant Room into something more, but didn't have time. 3 encounters took up the whole 2 hours. Yeah, I was wondering if it would. Wait, 2 hours. Yeah, that'd be a lot to try and stick together or smush in, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't have Abyssal Mutant rules or whatever. But, I mean, you clearly did okay. So, hey, listen, Atari, thank you for running the first Realms of Eldara campaign at a convention for players who we had no idea what the fuck Eldara was. Because of that, Atari, it is now new roll day in the server. We're going to create a role so people know who they can ask about stuff. New role. Eldara Game Master. We're going to make this a Regal Gold. The members were found. Wait, what? Whatever, I'll do it later. Permissions. Same shit. Save changes. We're gonna have this role display. Oh, we need to have it different because that's Patreon. Let's do this one. Let's do this one, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. All right. We are then going to assign Atari. The Eldara Game Master role. So all may know that Atari is... Ooh, you know what we need also, too? I guess I could be a Game Master, too, don't I? Eldara Game Master. I'm going to make a small badge, a physical badge that I'm going to send out to people who are Game Masters. The Eldara Game Master. I'm going to have an image. Let's see. What image do we use? What piece of art do we use for this? We're gonna make a proper image, but for now we're gonna use it's too big. All right, fine. We'll use an emoji. For the Eldara Game Master, we shall use the emoji of a Van Bull salute. Wait. Display role member separate from online ones. Allow them to app mention. Why can't you do the thing where it shows off the thing beside it? All right, whatever. Close enough. We got there. All right. Tari, you are the first person to earn the Eldaran Game Master title. You have run the first... You have to use so many rules? Of course I do. What do you mean I have so many rules? I have rules for bullshit. I have rules for official things. I have rules for bullshit things. I have rules for guild members. I have rules for the arena champions. For the crumb holders. For the art building enjoyers. I have rules for technical rules. I have an acolyte. What the fuck is the who is the acolyte? Why is Bizzo an acolyte? Why is she the only person with acolyte title? What the fuck is... Okay. I have Horizon Enjoyers. Oh, those are my players. That's right. Loser Simp. Who is Loser Simp? Why do I have a role called Loser Simp and Dashto is the only person with Loser Simp? Oh, it does show next to the name. Okay. Just not next to this part of it. Right. Okay. 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 All right, we're good. We're good. I figured it out. Yeah, I'm gonna create a little Eldara like logo thingy. It's gonna go. Here, mods make roles. I think the mods can make roles. I'm pretty sure. 90% sure. I know at least some mods can make rules. I don't know if all of them can. I don't know if it's a general mod permission thing or if I have every single mod able to make a rule. I don't remember how I set it up. But there it is, man. The first official Realms of Eldara convention playtest game run by Atari 2600. Congratulations, man. That's really fucking cool. You're the first person to ever run a campaign or a game of any kind in the Realms of Eldara besides myself. You are the first. You are the trailblazer. And you formatted so nicely. Also, did you see the shit Steel did? Where is it? Where it at? I saw it on my phone when I was in the car. Shit. Where's the moot? Where's the game moot? Here we go. The Eldara development moot. Steel also did this shit. Steel formatted the Astral Knight. Temporary version. What version are we on? We are on Astral Knight version 0.1.5.1. We are on 0.1.5.1. And Steel created the Astral Knight 0.1.5.1. Formatted with abilities. Look at that. You can select some kind of task from a list that grants you some kind of bonus in a way that comes with the responsibility of some sort. Mission of the night, be awesome. Features, awesomeness. Yep. True. Rune spell list. Apogee tether. Single rune spell. What's this? Playing an Astral Knight. Wow. Look at how official it is. I wonder how hard it was for Steel to actually, like, format. Yep. Is it just homebrewery? Is homebrewery that easy? I need an idiot's tutorial on how to use homebrewery, because I feel like homebrewery is the kind of tool that if you learn how to use it, doing something like this takes you probably 20 minutes. You know? But if you don't know how to use it, it's just like you're wrestling against God knows what kind of evil forces in the universe. So I don't know. For now, though, there is a character that I wanted to draw this week because we could not play D&D yesterday. Fishy and I gotta say, huge shout out to Fishy. Fishy and I could not play yesterday because of me, and we had actually planned on Monday to play together, and Tuesday rolled around and I had to cancel on her, which thankfully, you know, she said, hey, it's okay. Like we said, we were going to play it by ear and just chill and not take it too seriously. So if we need to cancel or whatever, no problem. So I canceled on her last minute yesterday, and she was totally cool with it. She was very graceful and dignified about it, and showed a lot of character. And I apologized profusely and deeply, but I had to cancel stream last minute yesterday. There was some medical things that came up, and I had to take somebody somewhere. So no big deal. Just you know, occasionally you guys know that I will have to cancel a stream the morning of, and it always sucks, and it sucks even more if it's on a Tuesday when I'm supposed to play with her. So
pretty easy. Only if you want to add custom styling, it can get a bit tricky.
Okay, but if you're just making like a class thingy like that to make it look D&D, Senix, how is it easy to learn, or is there a tutorial people like to go to? I initially wanted to write in Homebrewery, but I looked at the Homebrewery page, like site or whatever, and I think I'm too dumb for it. So I feel like I wanted to release it like that, and of course I don't want to make Steel do all the work, but it looked dope, Steel. But I just don't know how how much time I'd have to spend on Homebrewery figuring out how to use Homebrewery before I could actually get to the point to be able to use Homebrewery like that. But yes, I had to cancel yesterday on our D&D game with Fishelin, and so I deeply apologize to her. I apologize to you guys who were looking forward to it. I know some people have actually really been into the game, and I appreciate you guys. But we are still planning to play next week and make up for it. Obviously, hopefully. Before then, I want to have a couple things ready. I want to have the Astral Knight class playable, because it's like in its sort of alpha state. I want to put the Astral Knight into its beta state. And the difference between alpha and beta state for me is going to be when the Astral Knight is filled in. When every feature is filled in and it's got enough spells to use and it's got enough things to, you know, generally function. It's not going to be balanced or really, you know, fluffy or whatever, but it's going to be complete. So that's what I'm viewing the beta as. And I want to have the beta Astral Knight done by Tuesday. And I want to have her character sheet public so you guys can see what's kind of, you know, stats she has and whatnot. And all that cool stuff. And I also wanted some art. I wanted some art of her and her companions. So I want to do art for Sabine, Kalik, and Valona.
You have tabs you can click on and it's pre-formatted, plus it comes with a placeholder text.
Oh, that's cool. Is there still a explain to me like on 5 tutorial? Because last time I went to Home Brewery, I had a panic attack. Like last time I went there, I see CSS and shit. You know? It's like I'm uncertain as to how to like add art. Is this the base template? Do I do from blank or from file? From blank? See, I don't know what the, I don't how do I gotta do I log in? Oh, log me in. Okay, great. Do I make new from file? No, it doesn't work. Create your own. See? I need like I need to find a template, like a class or like a race template or something like that I can like add. Or is there a place where you can get templates to be able to write this kind of shit? So I wanted to deliver the Knight class and all of its updates in the way Steel did. And I'm very, very grateful for Steel doing that. Because Steel saved me up my ass on that, made it look more legitimate, and was so handsome in the process, man. You ever see Steel walk in, you're like, is it handsomer in here? I think it kind of is. You know, that's my my general experience. Pick something already formatted and then replace all the words and stuff. I used GM Binder, was pretty easy. Still need a little HTML in Photoshop. Oh, really? GM Binder. I thought GM Binder was just for organizing home brewery stuff.
Left, you have tabs, one of which is called PHP.
PHP. Upper left I have tabs, one is called PHP. All right. We're gonna do. So we're gonna call this class feature. Oh. Hit dice. 1d10 per. I'm not gonna do this all right now. Per Astral Knight level. Hit points at higher levels, 1d10 plus your Constitution modifier per Astral Knight. I'm guessing I can search all like words that have like the class in the template and then just replace or whatever. Armor, heavy armor, all armor. Simple weapons, martial weapons. Oh, we don't capitalize that. Tools. They get tools? I don't think the Astral Knight has tools, right? So then if I want to do... Okay, so then I do that. Great. So now I have this in here. And then I want to go to PHP. Class feature. So what's the next... What is the element that I'd add in for the next thing? For like the parry spell. Or the parry ability. It's not a spell, right? I'm guessing it's not class feature, because that's all of the stuff I just added in here. Magic item, no. Descriptive text box? No. Note. No, that's cool though. Quote. Ooh. No, no more class features. Is it a spell? No. I wonder...
Quick tip: if you want to export this, I'd advise to use Chrome, as mobile and other browsers can, don't have to but can, mess up the styling.
Oh, good point. Okay. I could see that being a weird thing. Okay, yeah, thanks for that. So if I want to do like Astral Knight parry skill, and then what would I do? I would text editor. Oh, I see. Oh no. Linked page QR wide block? No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, fonts. Okay, okay. So what is our... How do I set up a new, like, thingy here? So I can go to fonts. Oh, wait. Not like that. Okay. Yeah, so I gotta watch a little tutorial on this and figure out why I just Control-Z my entire thing away by mistake. All right, cool. Well, maybe I'll fucking figure that shit out.
New pages /page.
/page, but I don't want a new page. I wanted just like a new section on the page, right? Like a new like So Steel had like a new like block here, right? Where it says like parry skill, ability score modifier, and that, you know, like I wanted like a new one of those things of like other features. But yeah, I'll watch a tutorial. I'm not lazy. I'm not that lazy. I can't watch a tutorial on how to use a complex tool feature or whatever. I'm just inept. That's it. But before the adventure, I really would like to very much use my time to get Runa's art finished for the most part, and then I'd like to get art of Sabine, Kalek, and Valona. And I think I want to start with Sabine today. I was working on Sabine's art a little bit last night before bed, which I gotta stop working later in the evenings, man. I gotta like, I really gotta take my time and rest in the evenings. I'm not sure if anyone can relate, but I've had recently this like issue where I have more difficulty relaxing in the evenings when I work late, unless I'm super fucking like unhealthily exhausted. If I'm like, you know, midterms, school project, whatever level exhausted, falling asleep on my computer, it doesn't matter. I'll just, as soon as I'm done work, I will collapse, you know? But recently, because I'm trying to maintain a good sleep schedule, I'm trying to be well rested. I think that's it's one of those things that I think is very important for overall health. You know, predictors of performance in the gym and anti-aging and like warding off diseases. Generally, just good shit happens when you get good sleep. I think people can kind of agree. And so I'm trying to take that seriously as a man entering my mid-30s soon. But it also means not working too late and not being super exhausted. So I need to not work past a certain time.
Four colons that usually separates text into another section.
Oh, okay. So there's got to be like a chart, or also Jesus, thank you for the 300 bits, Sonic. I appreciate that. I assume there's like, is there a chart somewhere, like a resource they have of like, here's all the things to do, all the things in Homebrewery, or is that like, you just have to figure it out, boss? Because I want to go and spend some time trying to figure out how to homebrewify. But like, then again, Steele said GM Binder, and I've heard a lot of people say that you either love or hate GM Binder or Homebrewery, one or the other. And I don't trust anyone's opinions on it, because the only person that I know that uses both, or that really uses both a lot, or has a lot of experience sort of with both, is Mendari. And I don't trust her opinion on which thing is better, because she's so fucking opinionated that in order for her to make a decision to use one tool over another, she like crafts a well, you know, built thesis that completely validates one whilst questioning if the other one is a heinous act of, you know, an abomination against humanity. basically. There's no mid ground for her, all right? There's no like, I prefer this tool just ever so slightly. If she uses a tool, man, like when she was telling me to use OBS over Streamlabs, it wasn't like, oh yeah, OBS is slightly better. You might find a little bit of extra whatever in it. It is, OBS is grand and the best tool ever made. Streamlabs is the worst thing to ever come out of the tech sector. It is a waste of time. You are actually throwing the game by choosing the inferior, right? Like there wasn't a sense of like, you know, general like, oh yeah, this could work, but that could work a little bit better. So I'd have to ask her which one she has, and then understand that with that it comes a certain level of intensity in her answer. But I gotta find some other people that have used both as well. My keyboard's dying. I need to plug it in. I hate plugging my keyboard in during stream. Makes it a little tough. Because it doesn't sit flush against my monitor then. I'll be okay. All right. I need a Cheeto print, I think. So Sabine, this is the base design for Sabine. I'm not sure how other people saw Sabine, but this is Sabine. This doesn't have to affect your headcanon Sabine, but this is my Sabine. This is canonical Sabine. I envisioned her, her class is rogue, but she's more archetypically a pilot and a sort of tinkerer than a rouge. So she's going to have some armor on her, some plates, things like that. Aviation elements in there merged into the fantasy stuff. But I was going to give her a print or something on her. On her fur that she has around her coat, on her jacket. Yeah, it's too just kind of like a ringed print. We'll get our sketch good, then hopefully do our line work real quick. And then next I think I want to do Kalek. Because he's cool. He's like a full-on astral sage. So he's got all sorts of astral sage stuff going on. He's kind of a dude. And send you Discord. I don't know if they updated it yet. I mean, that'd be great. Yeah. Thank you. So there's little spots and large spots all sort of mingled in around. It looks like. I don't do fur prints all that often. We'll do like snow leopard type thing.
I sent the formatting guide link into stream topics if anyone is interested.
Dude, excellent. Thank you, Senix. I appreciate that. Thank you for 100 bits as well. You don't have to throw it in bits, dude. I feel bad. I feel bad. Thank you, though. Okay. Homebrewery, natural grit, print, whatever, blah, blah, draw log. All right. Ooh. This is extensive. 20 pages? Okay, cool. I will happily use this. Thank you, Senix. I appreciate that. Sick. I wonder and hope that nothing from this, like, formatting or whatever translates over to, like, Wizards of the Coast, like, open license, whatever, OGL shit. I hope the formatting stays clear away from that. Or if you have to format, or if you do formatting like this, you're, like, sort of playing into Wizard stuff. Like, I don't quite know how it works, but... I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure I'm overthinking it. I always wonder how players like will perceive art that I make of like NPCs and stuff. And I wonder if people on stream are gonna respond well to me having art for Sabine, Kalik, and Valona next week. Or if it's like, that's not my Sabine, Kalik, or Valona. What is this shit? You ruined them. You broke my immersion. The illusion is gone. Which, hey, I'm not there to break anyone's immersion, okay? It's not my goal. I mean, kind of, but it's fine. I'm there to break Fishy's immersion. Which I gotta send her a message tonight and thank her for being understanding about yesterday. She was very kind to me about it. Yeah, the problem with doing something like this, like a bomber jacket, is like you want to reference a later, like, historical style without necessarily taking away the fantasy elements. So things like zippers can't be there. You know? Snap buttons, whatever, can't be there. Everything has to be like leather belt fastened something or another. Part of the goal for this is to have a thing that kind of demonstrates which character or displays which character is like speaking at any given time. Because people who aren't really paying attention or just kind of halfway there, we're saying they're having a hard time keeping track of it. And I think that's a totally legitimate, valid, you know, criticism of the show. So I want to make sure that we can kind of make that a little more obvious next week. Even if I don't get full-on versions of the characters done, like colored whatever, I'd like to get at least sketches done for them. You know, or like at the bottom of bomber jackets, usually there's sort of this elastic kind of material that you'd expect to see like those kind of lines down it, right? But obviously that's a newer material that we can't really have as part of this. So I think I need to do it in the form of belts. Belts that sort of tie tighter. And I mean, I also think that people have begun to forget who the fuck I is. I've like allowed my reputation to be sullied. And some people appear to have forgotten exactly why I am the greatest Twitch D&D artist to ever grace this platform. And it's for my use of proper belts. That's right. That's it. That's the only reason why. That's the only one. A little fastener that can kind of tighten. They're kind of cool. And we also just show off Sabine's race too, which I forgot what I named them. Sabine is a blue person. What are the blue people called? I think that they're in different notes, to be honest. Horizon notes should be in here, right? That's where Embra is. Embra new. She is a. Damn it! I didn't write it down. Shit. Inari. She's in Inari. Yes. So we also need to sort of maybe identify what kind of cultural markings Inari will wear. So there's that too. What's up, Steve? What's going on, man? Week is going well, my friend. Week is going well. All things seem to be converging in a fortuitous way, for me at least. I hope the week is also going well for you. But yeah, no, man, I'm chilling. I'm just having a good time. I'm gonna figure out this character's design before next Tuesday, so I can show up all impressive, like. For everyone who has any kind of suspicion that I wouldn't show up all impressive, like, for next Tuesday. Which is, let's face it, at this point, most of the guild, but, you know. I have to at least try and prove people wrong. Otherwise, I'm kind of just throwing. You know what? I'm going to upset somebody with this sketch, though, because they're going to find out she's a rogue and wearing metal. One of those things. You know, like a druid or a rogue in metal. I don't know what upsets people the most. Druids and rogues in metal, barbarians in any kind of visual looking armor. Because I always took the barbarian thing to be like, you can't be wearing any really protective armor, but if you have like some armor on, you know, something like along the lines of ceremonial or decorative or visual armor, that you're kind of okay. And yet there's this like big acceptance of like, oh, I'm a paladin, but I don't want to wear clunky armor, so I'm gonna wear like a, I don't know, a chain shirt. That's it. But you're wearing half plate on your character sheet. Oh, but visually I don't want to have too much armor. You know, it's like somebody who doesn't want to be clunky and they don't want to have too much armor. There's like an automatic acceptance of like, oh yeah, that's fair, you can do that. But assuming somebody wants visually to be more armored than their character sheet implies, that is then the heinous sin. I mean, you kind of show off the gauntlets, though. Because she's not wearing heavy armor. She just has, like, a couple pieces of metal. Sort of fit into whatever she's doing. And she has her pilot's gloves. They're sort of hanging down. And some kind of a wrap or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. Character building like this is kind of like all conceptual and design all at the same time. It's pretty fun. I actually really like this style. It's been great. We are absolutely killing it at work this week, which is really needed. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Sometimes just having a good week or two in a row can like really turn things around for a long time, you know? I feel that. If a project goes particularly well, that can help boost things for the whole team for a long time. Morale is actually super interesting to talk to people about, you know? Like for creative projects especially, but you know, I knew a friend at Blizzard that some of the best work that they did on a project on his team was when his team was at their worst and feeling like really trash about everything they were doing. And then other times it's like their team is doing like really is like chilling and like having a great time and everybody feels really good about the project, and then it completely like flops, doesn't get received all that well. Everyone hates it. And it's like, oh shit, you know? And at other times, I just had a friend leave Blizzard, and he said that morale was like pretty bleak, and everyone's can kind of feel it, you know?
So I'm not a lawyer, but a quick Google check tells me that official D&D formatting and fonts are called trade dress, and that is indeed a trademark owned by Watk. You will have to design your own trade dress.
Okay, right. Right, okay. That makes sense. Thank you for 100 bits, Tari. Thank you for doing that digging. So, right. Now, I wonder exactly what amount of that formatting is considered to be like WotC property. If like wording and stuff also fits into that as well. Or if I need to reword things a lot. Because, like, I will. I'm not mad about that. I can. That just kind of makes it a bit of a challenge, hey? But, like, I totally have an idea visually how I would do it. You know? I do, like... Where's our logo? Is this it? This is it. I'd use our texture, which isn't a final texture. It's just indicative of a texture that I want to kind of make for it. So it looks something like that. And then I'd have, where's our format here that I'm looking at? Where's the Astrolite Steelio made? Let's grab that from the development moot. So we'd probably start off with Modesto, I think. Oh. Everything would probably be a dark gray. We're gonna try dark gray and blue. And then we get our...
I'm currently designing my own custom theme for Homebrewery with CSS, so if you'd like I could send you the finished CSS file and hope you understand what I did. Ooh. If that is something you want, of course.
For what? For your own personal stuff? It'd be dope to see. I think I have to make my own for Eldara, but man, so I could. Ooh, you're right. I could make up all the CSS. I could make a blank page for this, then I could like a Photoshop document, and then I could give it to Ella and make her force her into CSSing it all for me. Where the fuck is my classes? Custom classes. There we go. So what kind of... we going for 10-point font, I guess? That's nice. And then what else do we need here? Let's get this up base and then get the custom classes up here. Personal class, creating... a class... we change that to poster. Make this probably 12 point. And now you're following cross features. So we need to... medium 11 point, and it needs to be darker. Oh no, it's good. So let's separate out hit points and then proficiencies. Saving throws. And skills are together. And then equipment. Medium 11. Medium 11. So like there's I could make my own custom fucking sheet or whatever. I think, right? And we could do it. We could do this. It would be tedious and annoying, but we could do this. You can call things fighters, druids, and hit points and saving throws since all those are in Creative Commons, right? Yeah. I just can't reference like. That's one of the reasons why the like one of the earliest questions I got about the Sage is like, why do I want to make up all my own spells? And my whole thing is that I didn't want to use any D&D spells. I don't want to give people like, you know, Mage Hand or whatever, any of the like D&D focused spells, because I don't want WotC to own that shit. I want the class to be all original stuff. You know, saying that they get a longsword and plate mail, it's like that doesn't matter, you know. You just got to reskin all the monsters, reskin all the spells, reskin everything, as far as I'm concerned. You know, but the hit points and proficiencies and saving throws and, you know, skills and all of that, I think that's fine. Hit points. I think these need to be bigger. Maybe a different color. Eldar only really has a couple of colors going on for it. Has like gold, but gold I'm not sure if would look good here. It might look okay, actually. Get our hex code here. Oops. I am properly hex coded. You think I learned this lesson by now? And then what's bolded on here? Hit points, or hit dice is bold. Hit points at first level is bold. Hit points at whatever levels also bold. So yeah, I can format it in a way that's similar to Wizards of the Coast without it being like, you know, on their ass or whatever, and feels unique to Eldara and the Realms of Eldara. And I plan to do this eventually. It's just, this is a lot of work, because if you format one thing this way, it's easy. But if you want to make a template so you can format everything like this, it's hard. And at that point, you want to use Adobe InDesign for it. And I haven't used Adobe InDesign in probably 8 years. Which is fine, you know, in getting InDesign back on online would be a good skill to have. It is just a bit of a pain in the ass. So, but that's okay. This is fine.
Well, now this starts to bring up something I've been wondering about.
Yes.
What kind of OGL do you plan on having for Eldara?
What kind of OGL do I plan on having for Eldara? Let's see. I've reached the 100 bits though, Tar. That's awesome, bro. The problem is I don't really know what people are gonna want to do for Eldara. You know? Because the issue is it's not a system just yet. I feel like right now there's not really, like, I'd probably have to protect the IP pretty well from being sold under Eldara IP stuff, whilst it is in the infancy and it is not its own system. But once Eldara is developed into its own system, then I would want to have there be some sort of, and here's the thing, don't clip this and in 15 years when, you know, 3 legal dudes in suits are holding a gun to my head and saying I need to change it. Don't like hold me in court as this is the way it's always going to be. But here's my vision. Here's what I would like to do. Now, keep in mind, I am very ignorant in a lot of the legal process. It's the sort of the Dunning-Kruger effect or whatever. The more I learn about legal stuff to do with like licensing and shit, the more I realize how little I know, and the less I respect the opinions of other people that I recognize don't know shit. So I feel like there's almost nobody that I could like go to and ask them how to do this, how it would work, how it all, you know, figures itself out. So I'll explain intent right now, which I think is most honest conversation can get by 95% of the way on explaining intent. What I would like to do is I would like to develop Eldara and guard the IP very closely, because I have to legally, for a while, until the project presents itself as its own game and doesn't use a license in the sort of the realm of like, you know, doesn't need another game, another product to play on it. Once the Realms of Eldara adventure comes out for D&D 5th edition, after a couple of those are released, I'll be releasing the Realms of Eldara campaign setting for D&D 5th edition. Once that is out and is a successful product, hopefully, then I'll be moving to make my own game system. A Realms of Eldara game system that is designed from the ground up for everything to be played for within the system of the Realms of Eldara. At that point, I would want to create some sort of an open game license that would allow people to use the system to write content for Eldara, to sell it, to clearly label it as being sort of like community content versus official release, just to avoid confusion for newer players, right? To say like, oh, we're going into this fantasy town that doesn't exist in a game that was made up, but this one's a real one that you'll actually be able to reference in the next game, and this one's the one that my GM made up for us, right? And then sold in the marketplace. And then I think it would be cool to create a marketplace, to create an incentivized modding community, right? Where people can write content for it that fits into stuff. And I can like, and there can be sort of like a stamp of approval, a stamp of like, this is like pretty in line with the Eldaran story, or like not in line with the Eldaran story. So you can write stuff and like submit it through as like, oh, I have a modular adventure, and it's like I'm adding this cool stuff here and this cool stuff there, and somebody would go through it and be like, well, this doesn't interfere with anything that is currently in the world, so we'll give it a stamp of like approved, like, you know, fits within the world. And if they want that stamp and they don't get it, it's just like, oh, well, you described like demons from this planet, and like this planet like has a name and demons don't come from that planet. So if you wanted to have demons come from some cosmic force, go for it, but they can't come from this planet. And I feel like how people like work within it if they want to, and then create a really cool like modding scene. I mean, the way I see it is like a smaller scale version of what Lucas Arts and Lucasfilm did, you know, where Knights of the Old Republic and Heir to the Empire were like amazing pieces of Star Wars fiction. George Lucas never saw them as being official. He said he loved Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy of what happens after the movies, but like Lucas is sitting there thinking that's not what happens. He knows in his head that immediately after the original trilogy, what begins to happen? The first movie trilogy was the story of the father. The second trilogy, 4, 5, 6, was the son, and 7, 8, 9 was going to be about the daughter. It was going to be about Leia and the underworld. It was going to have Darth Maul and Darth Talon and all these cool things in there, and he knew that ahead of time. So when other people were writing like cool Star Wars fan stuff, basically, and selling it as far as like this is approved, licensed, whatever, they got the stamp of like, yeah, this can be released as Star Wars Legends or non-canon or legacy or however you want to refer to it. People loved it, and they picked up they picked out of their brain what canon was for them, you know. And so this isn't a way for me to describe away my legitimacy of Disney Star Wars, because even some Lucasian Star Wars, I don't consider to be fully in my own sort of canonical space. You know, where I put that is to say, at the end of the Clone Wars TV show, Yoda goes to a Sith temple and meets the ghost of Darth Bane. But that wasn't Darth Bane. That wasn't my Darth Bane. And so I would like to think that Rule of Two and the Darth Bane books and the Darth Bane that was in that novel, those 3 novels, is sort of a canonical story in Star Wars. And it in my brain's canon, it all matches up. And so there's a bit of picking and choosing you got to do as a fan. You know, did this thing happen? Did that thing happen? And writers and storytellers have done a very good job of not stepping on any other thing's toes to say like, oh, we're going to tell the story of the Sith before the movies. And it's like, what are you talking about? There's like 50 novels and 20 games that tell that story in this large collective thing. And you have one novel writer being like, oh, well, fuck all of them. I'm telling them the real story. It's like the only person that could do that is George Lucas. So fuck you if you try and do that. But that project wouldn't have gotten approved by Lucasfilm, LucasArts, whatever. And so I envisioned something similar to that, where people want to write a module, or want to write a class, or want to write a story, an adventure, a novel, whatever, inside of the realms of Eldara, they can do that, so long as everything doesn't step on the toes of what what I have written and what people have written for me officially, and what I or people that are writing officially plan to write. You know? So for instance, if somebody wanted to write an official novel and say, Evan, I want to write the first official Eldara novel, and I want to put it on the marketplace store, and I want to get it published, and I want to do all these things, and I want to be the very first official Realms of Eldara novel. And I'm like, great, I didn't ask you to write that. So it might be great. Let me see. Let me read it and tell you if you can put it on the store and say and earn the stamp of like, yeah, this is like official Legends content. And what it could come down to is if that person said, I want to tell a story of the abyss under the Shattered Sea, and it's like, so that wouldn't earn the stamp, because the abyss, it has a story, it has a whatever, and we're planning on tackling that in the near future. So you're not gonna I don't want to say, sure, stamp your novel, and then in a couple of years or whatever have to revoke the stamp because we decide to write our own version of what that story was. You know, unless somebody comes with some great idea and we give them the stamp, and then we're like, hey, can we use your story as the official whatever? And then I go through the process of acquiring the rights to that story from the author with whatever royalties and whatever legal shit you need to do to actually acquire the story formally. And so I could see a world where unofficial fan fiction that gets the stamp of approval becomes a full-on published novel release that gets published with whatever publishing company we publish our own big novels with. I think that'd be really cool. Because my whole vibe that I have with this is that the Realms of Eldara are not going to become an amazing, meaningful world by me writing them and drawing and designing in them alone. But I have an incredibly high standard. And that's the thing that some people don't necessarily want to hear, because it sounds like asshole-ish or elitist or whatever. That, like, sometimes I've had people say, like, oh, hey, you need someone to write your Realms of Eldara lore for you? I'll write it for you. Yeah, man, I'm a writer. Like, I'll do your writing for you. You need just tell me what you want. You want me to write the story of Groldar? Okay, sure. You don't have anything written for Groldar? Tell me what kind of vibe you want, and I'll write the story of Groldar. And it's like, the problem is that when I've had people offer me that, and no one's offered me to do that for me in a long time, so I can kind of say it safely. But basically what's going on in my head is I don't trust you. I don't trust a part of my world with you. I don't think you're a good enough writer. I don't know you well enough. I don't know your writing well enough. I don't know your stuff well enough to think this is a person I want to have write stuff for the Realms of Eldara. And it's kind of this like weird sort of in-between thing of like, well, who do you think you are kind of thing. And I would rather do it on my own for a while until I have the actual budget and capital to go out and be able to acquire people and say, hey, I love your comic that you wrote for this thing, some image comic, independent comic book writer. Can you write me a story of a rogue trying to like escape the city with this item? Basically, we need this item to make it out of this city and make it to this place so that this whole story can start. And you can write the sort of the little side spin-off story of how that item got. It's kind of like the Rogue One, where Mon Mothma says many Bothans died to bring us these Death Star plans. Okay, well then you get to go write Rogue One. So your story isn't necessary for us to do this, but I want to pay the comic book writer, you know, whatever it is, $10,000 to write and produce this comic book for me, you know. And then then I have the creative control I need, where they're like, hey, I want to create these characters, and I want this person to do this and that person to do that. And I'm like, great, you want these kind of characters? Let me give you the notes on how a Geminos works, on how this magic system works, so that you can write something within canon, and then add your own cool ass ideas on how it works within that story, within that canon, you know. The problem is you can't have that kind of level of control over something until you're willing to pay somebody, which is why I'm not willing to let anyone have release official content, whether it's stats or story or adventure, until I'm at the point where I could pay them and it'd be more like a working relationship. And then I would need to find those people who are successfully, you know, doing whatever they're doing at a high enough level that I am comfortable asking them to do it, right?
Yesterday and today, Salvelinus Confluentus, Sander Wetros.
All right, I'll look it up. What's going on, Dario? Good stream this morning, man. So sorry, Drew, let me just finish my thought. So the first person that actually was able to release something for Eldara formally was Dashto. Mostly because Dashto and I have been working together on stuff for a long time. I think as a composer, he's exceptional. And I have lots of friends that are good artists and have offered to do stuff for free for Eldara that I've politely declined because I don't think their art is up to the standard that I want. Which is not something somebody wants to hear. Because it's like, well, what about your art, Evan? It's just like fair, but, you know. So the problem is that if I'm releasing something with the brand name on it, then people will judge the brand and future projects based on that release. And I think that the album is so exceptional that I am happy and proud to put my stamp on it. Right? Now, the other side of that is payment. Dashto isn't asking for any payment, and many people have not asked for payment. The reason why I'm okay with Dashto not paying him is because him and I are such deeply close friends that I really do believe it's okay to not pay him. Because he knows that I will, in the future, on my word, take care of him as best I can when the Realms of Eldara is a successful project. He's going to be my John Williams. But when it comes to somebody who, like Atari, your writing is fantastic. I don't know, honestly. And I'm going to be very blunt with you, Atari. I don't know if you're a good writer or not. I really, really enjoyed your writing. And I know bad writing when I see it. Like, I started reading this light novel, which is like a Japanese like anime novel. Light novels are a whole thing. They're like shorter novels. I started reading a light novel because I wanted to read before bed to get my eyes tired. And I was like, I haven't read this yet. I'll read it. And I wasn't expecting it to be grand, but it was so bad. Last night, I actually put it down, removed the little magic card I had in it that like was my bookmark. I put it on my side table and thought to myself, I'm not finishing this trash. I have no desire to finish this. This book is absolute garbage. I'm not going to fucking finish this. So I know that's bad. I don't like it. And I know that like I'm listening to this Warhammer 40k book right now. I forget what it's called, but it's like one of the first ones that any website or whatever recommends you read to get into Warhammer 40k lore. And I like it. I think it's good writing, but I don't read a ton. And I know that I really like your writing, Atari, but I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good enough. I think it is. It probably is. I like it. But is it up to the standard that writing would have to be? I don't know. I'm like pretty sure it is. So I'm like pretty certain that I'd be like super comfortable with you writing some sort of like novel, like short stories and novels set in Eldara. The only thing that would have to happen is that I would have to like adjust certain things and like maneuver certain things and be like, hey, this thing can't quite work because there's not really this magical force that exists. So you can't have this character like teleporting in like this. It's not quite going to happen. Like you'd have to have them have something like else or whatever, like a rune circle. There's like little nitpicks that I could have to make your stories that you've written canonical and fit in Eldara completely. And that to me is really cool. But I don't have the right to nitpick until I can pay you. Right? And so it kind of has to sit in limbo as this like amazing fan piece that people can read, you know, that I can't point to in the world and say, hey, you guys want to see this is one of the first Realms of Eldara stories written by Atari, you know, because I can't, because I have nothing yet to pay anyone with. Right. And so it's so frustrating because I really loved the first story and I haven't read the second one yet because I'm waiting to do it on stream and I'm waiting for the subathon, which should be in a couple weeks, hopefully, to read it on stream again. Maybe we might just do it one night because fuck it. I don't know. I'm kind of getting impatient. I really want to read it. And like, but yeah, the biggest problem is that there's no ability to pay for compensation right now. And I want to release some kind of a marketplace with like an OGL that basically just says like, you can write stories if your stories like pass through the scrutiny of like the this is like good Eldaran lore stamp, it gets the stamp. And then people can buy it. And then people can market themselves within the Realms of Eldara marketplace, you know? And I hope to think of a marketplace that's thriving one day where people are playing with sort of like the DM's guild or whatever. And the way I would run it is I would run it with almost I would run it with a very, very small cut. Because one of the things I know that's a problem with DM's Guild is people talk about how big the cut is. I don't know what it is, but I think it's like 30 or 50%. You release something on Roll20 as an asset, you release something on DM's Guild or whatever it is, people buy it, your rules, your backgrounds, your whatever it is, and you owe DM's Guild like half of what you make. I'd want to make it as easy for people to make a substantial amount of money on the marketplace as possible, to be creatives for the marketplace solely. I want the world to be worthy of that kind of dedication from people. That's ambitious and arrogant to say, but it's like, it's a goal worth pursuing, I think. And then of course the cut you have to take for like the OGL, whatever, for the marketplace is, in my opinion, whatever is required so that it can function bare bones. But I wouldn't want to make it a profitable thing for the Realms of Eldara. Because I think that all it does is if more people are getting better stuff out of it, they're going to create more interesting shit for it, therefore building more interest in it. Therefore, when I make an official release, there's a larger group of people that care about it. I think that a lot of marketplaces get it wrong. They try and make money off their marketplace, and I think that's a mistake. I think that's you throwing. I think that's you like you completely missing the mark as to what the point of the marketplace is for a singular project. And so I'd want to make it a place where people are very excited to post something, where you write a little novel, you know, a short story for Eldar, it's a couple hundred pages or whatever, I don't know. And you're like, I want to write the story, and I send it for a submission, and, you know, someone from the Realms of Eldar story team reviewed it and said, yeah, this fits within canon, or doesn't, and I changed this one thing to allow it to fit sort of within canon mostly, and they gave it a stamp. And so it's like on the front page of like new novels that are like sort of Legends approved. You know, it's got the little like blue Eldara stamp on it or whatever. And then, you know, you want to charge $5 for the digital version or whatever. And then, you know, you get like $4 or whatever, $4.50. I don't know what the proper cut will be out of every sale. And you're like, holy shit, I'm making so much money on this. This is crazy. I sold 100 books and got $1,000 or whatever, or $400, and I sold 40, sold 400, and I made, you're right, and it's like, it's exciting, and you can be like, wow, I'm actually like, people love this. And then if something does super well, like your little Tales of Eldara, whatever, you know, the band of sky pirates that you want to write about, if at a certain point we look at the marketplace and say, hey, this book's doing really well, it's sold like 10,000 copies, why don't we offer to do a physical print? And we kind of do run a Kickstarter within the marketplace, where at the top of the marketplace there would be like current fan-backed projects or whatever, whereby you'd have like everyone who bought the book could like pay $15 to buy a physical copy of it. And if you hadn't bought the book digitally, you could pay $20 to buy the physical copy of it. So you get to kind of reduce, or if you're an original supporter. And then if we hit like 10,000 people that want to buy it, then on my end, we do like a proper Kickstarter style print. Like my team would take care of printing and whatever and distribution. And then you just created a cool project. You got it stamped. You marketed it on your own social media and whatever, that like, hey guys, come check it on the Eldara marketplace. We marketed it on the marketplace as this cool thing to the people who are on the marketplace. And we do like a spotlight highlight thing, like, hey, once a week, I'm like, hey guys, check out this cool shit that's on the marketplace, right? You make a ton of money from that. It does well enough that then I message you and I send you an email. I'm like, hey, do you want to do a physical launch of this? And then you're like, fuck, I don't have to do anything, sure. And then you just get a bigger fucking royalty check, and then now it's available and whatever, and then it does extremely well, and then it goes into bookstore. Like, I wanted to be super cool for people who want to create stuff for the Realms of Eldar. Now, obviously, this requires me on my end to build something worthy of that kind of attention and success. Who knows if I will be able to? But I'm kind of betting my entire existence, like my entire life is now me investing in myself so that this will work out, that I can eventually build that. That's what. But like, asking about the whole OGL thing, like I don't know how it would work specifically, but the whole thing is like me trying to visualize an end goal for a lot of stuff that I can sort of shoot or like move towards. And that's kind of what I always thought would be cool, because I think that's the way that D&D should do it. I think the D&D should have a proper marketplace where you own your creation, obviously, but like it's hard because there's also story content. But like, imagine there's a marketplace where I could go to and I could release the Realms of Eldara stuff, and I could release the Astral Knight class and the Astral Sage class, and I could release the Realms of Eldara adventure on there onto a marketplace for D&D. And if D&D nerds wanted to play it, they could. And Wizards of the Coast is going to pay me a lot of money to do it. They're not going to take some massive cut. They're not going to say that they own it so long as it's on the marketplace. Get fucked, nerd, right? And that they will invest in my success and I will invest in their success. But no such system exists in the D&D sphere. And so I have an ambition to create such a system in the Eldara sphere. But that's a long time away. Back the day when I was a baby to this stream, I remember offering to write for Eldara, and I'm very glad that I didn't end up doing that because my skills are very inadequate for Eldara. No, but Viddy, I bet you could do a stellar job, bro. You're a great writer. But the issues comes to standards, and I don't know what those standards are and should be, and also ownership. Right? I'm not just gonna like yoink your writing and then make you sign it away as like, now it's Evan's writing. Evan, it exists for Evan. He's, you know, he can distribute this however he wants, and I didn't get paid for it. Like, that's right. Like, it just doesn't kind of work. It doesn't feel good on my end, even when people offer to do that. The only person who's offered to sort of give me their creation, insofar as I can use it for whatever the fuck I want, is Dashto. And the reason why I'm okay with that is because him and I have had such a long-standing creative relationship that I feel, although I feel bad about it, I don't feel insecure about it. And so anything short of that would be almost impossible for me to be okay with, you know? Oh, right. The metas. I have no idea what this week's meta is, Doria. I'm actually quite excited. What is the weekly meta? The meta is riverfish, the bull trout. I swear to God, if these are provincial fish, I'm gonna hold on. We need to see what the next one is. If these are provincial fish, I'm gonna go fishing. And the walleye. Okay, I don't think these are provincial fish. I'm pretty sure the walleye is East America. I think these are just river fish or freshwater fish. I'm gonna give the bull trout a solid 7.2. You know, trout's great. Not the best trout in the world, but definitely a decent. And of course the walleye. Oops. The walleye has to go a little bit lower. Have to do probably a 6.3. Decent fish, but you know, definitely no bull trout. So good start for the week, Aduri. It's a good meta. We'll see if by Friday I know what the fuck the meta actually is. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It sounds short-sighted. Yeah, to like try and monetize your market. I think so too. Got a stack of rejection letters I've collected over the years. I'd be honored to be rejected by you. Well, the only thing that I honestly think that the majority of your first story is actually canon compliant, and I would be deeply honored to have that as a story in the world. To have your characters, your crew, be a story that you've sort of created for the world. The problem is I don't have the style guides for you to be able to write them properly. It'd be unfair for me to be like, oh, this doesn't fit into canon. You're like, okay, well, how do I change it? I'm like, I don't have it written down yet. You know? Like I would love to eventually acquire your stories in the marketplace, Atari, or in some fashion as some promotional thing, as some part of the world's whatever, to be able to say these are official stories from Realms of Eldara. From, you know, you need some. I was about to real name you, Atari, but I realized I don't have. You need like extra letters inside there to name for your pen name. You know, like JHHJ Draper or something like that. You know, you need some like pretentious amount of extra like middle name words. I have 2 middle names. So if I was ever gonna be a writer, I would actually be EBKB or EBK Blair. I have 2 middle names, and I wouldn't use Evan. I would just be, or I could be Evan BK Blair. I'm not sure if Evan BK Blair is better than EBK Blair. I don't know. Either way, you need some more letters in there. We are learning things, Crimson. We're talking about the game. We're talking about the future. We're talking about plans. Now, the issue is all of this is also contingent on whether or not I can actually be a good enough writer and storyteller and stuff and artist to get people like can I be a good enough writer to create adventures people want to play? Can I be a good enough storyteller and world builder to make it like systems and things that people want to sort of like invest their time into? And can I be a good enough artist to actually market the project? Because like a large amount of the success of Eldara is contingent on me growing on social media at some point in time. There will have to be a period of time where I say, I'm going to try and hit like now 10,000, 100,000, 1 million followers on Twitter and Instagram for my art to be able to market when I then have the project and say, hey guys, I've got this Kickstarter for this campaign guide. Come check it out. Which is a really, really large amount of people you need to have following you. And it's tough because like Twitter is very difficult to grow on now. Very, very, very difficult. Instagram, for what I do, is extremely difficult to grow on. I need to change, and the problem is I need to change to video and animation for Instagram. The problem is video and animation costs money. So I need to like make money on Twitch and through commissions to be able to then hire my editor full-time. And by full-time, I mean like monthly, to make a series of shorts for me and videos so that she can have something that I can upload every week. And then, you know, and then that's how you grow on social media. And then you have a presence that you can.
Arcticus, one more chance today to guess the weekly meta.
All right. All right. The Arctic Grayling. Are they all in the same phylum or something? Or sorry, the same order? Are they all in the same order or family? In the U.S. state of... Wait. Lies through the Arctic, Pacific drainage in Canada, Alaska, and Siberia, as well as the upper Missouri River in Montana, in the U.S. state of Arizona, introduced population found by the Lee Valley, lakes in the White Mountains. They were also stocked in Toppings Lake by the Teton Range. Last time was provincial birds. Wait. Central to the Pacific drainage in Alberta and British Columbia and Canada. They do not occur naturally in the Fraser-Columbia River basins. I think provincial fish is too obvious, but I'm going to Google it anyway. The bull trout, okay. It is provincial fish. The walleye is Manitoba. Where's the Arctic Grayling? The Arctic Grayling is the Northwest Territories. We have the Canadian provincial fish meta. Why are there so many missing? Why does Saskatchewan and Manitoba get the walleye? And then why does Nunavut, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, and Quebec, and Yukon all not have provincial fish? Why the fuck does Newfoundland and New Brunswick, of all places, not have provincial fish? To be fair, the Newfoundland provincial fish is like a drunk man who is like half submerged in icy cold water at like 3 in the afternoon and has been there for a day or and a half, and he's somehow alive, but he's just still drinking. Nunavut's provincial fish would be probably the narwhal. Yep. And you're like, hey, but Evan, you know the narwhal isn't a fish, right? It's a mammal. I'm like, tell that to Nunavut. They don't give a fuck up there. All right? You tell them a narwhal's not a fish, and they'll be like, tastes like fish. What do you want about, bitch? I believe it. We're on provincial fish. Newfoundland not having provincial fish is not in the same mood. Is it? Large doors because he couldn't decide. Why should you have provincial fish anyway? I don't know. Let's see. Official fish of the Netherlands. Let's see. The salted herring. In the Netherlands, y'all are known for herring. Wow. That's cool. Okay, I will be right back. I need to go use the wash real quick, grab a new water. When I return. What about your provincial or state fish? Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm just I'm sorry, I forgot I was streaming there for a second. I forgot. That's a snack. What the hell? Wait, is the herring a snack or a snack? The fish of Illinois is a Lempus marsupius. That doesn't sound delicious at all, Viddy. Virginia's is a brook trout. Which state has the catfish? Which are official noodling states? Safe fish of cornland is an ear of corn that fell with a tractor and landed in a river. That's too bad. Arkansas wins with the alligator guard. That's not a fish. That's a predator. No matter how dumb the weekly meta might be for a given week, it'll always spark conversation for this I'm proud of. And you need a title, Iduria, for all like guild like lore master of less significant events in the world or something, you know. We're doing trees. Yeah, okay. There's also the Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a for Hawaii. Listen, the Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a is one of my favorite fish. I see lots of them. It's one of those fish that like it's only there basically, and then every time I see one, I think it's like a rare, cool thing. But I see a ton of them whenever I'm in Hawaii. So, Loud's muted. You're not a fan. You don't like my music. All right. This is why I don't play for you guys. I don't play for any of y'all. Fellow herring is a thing people eat, not like a cultural symbol people are proud to identify with. Why not? Why can't you be, you know, like proud of it and identify with it? You know, after all, you have like the French. They identify a large portion of their culture to the fact that they're so poor they need to eat fucking snails, right? Italians are so massively fond of the fact that they make, you know, mid salads. You can be proud in the Netherlands. Is the thing people eat, not like culture symbol. I don't know. Okay, Iowa's is a channel catfish. Can you go noodling in Iowa? Really? Tried to eat one before. It's not very tasty. Do I recommend? All right. All right. I trust you. I don't believe you on this one. I'm not messing around with this, all right? I need to go get some fish soon, I think. I've been craving good fish. But it's so expensive here, man. It's like 30 bucks for a dinner.
Evan, I have one more story about the con.
Yes, all right,
Ben
what?
the Paladin. It's extreme topics.
Ben the Paladin? Wait, what? Ben the Paladin. Dear Evan, let me tell you the story about Ben the Paladin. In a second session, I had someone who signed up for the waiting list in the case I had a no-show. When he showed up, I said I could run with 5 players, and he sat down, looking around like the 5th wheel he was. As we started, I soon realized that based on things you've said, that he was you in high school. The hair, the glasses, some awkwardness, baby-faced, and a little pudgy. Aww. When I went around and asked names and characters, he said, Ben. I asked for the character name. He said, just put down Ben. All right, I said Ben the Paladin. I have to tell you, he played a paladin to perfection. When the skyship caught on fire, he immediately said he went to put it out. When the beast attacked the caravan, he stood side by side with the dwarven fighter and defended the party. When a few NPCs died in the battle, he wanted to bury them and was saddened when I said the ground on the new island was too rocky. When the abyssal mutants attacked, he charged around the altar and struck at them with righteous holy wrath. And when he scored a critical hit on the last mutant and decapitated it, thus saving the day, and the hamlet as well, he absolutely beamed. He looked like this was the high point of his weekend, like this was the best thing ever. It was amazing. So, my friend, if you've ever sat back and wondered if any of this matters, if you've ever hoped that you would make a... if you ever hoped that your work would make the lives of just one person a little bit better, then you absolutely succeeded. Keep doing, keep driving, keep dreaming. I'm pinning that. That's nice, man. That's sick, dude. That's sick, Atari. But the thing is, Atari, I didn't do any of that. That was all you, bro. You were running the game. Yeah, you ran the game. You could have run any game. All right, so that was you, man. You made that kids weekend. That's a good. That's nice though. I'm glad y'all were playing in Eldar when Ben got to triumphantly defeat one of the last abyssal monsters. That's really cool, bro. That makes me happy. That made my day. Ben the Paladin made my day. All right. I cried a little bit about it, so it's your turn now. All right, listen. I don't cry on stream. Every time I cry on stream, somebody throws 10,000 bits at me, and I don't like it. Makes me feel cheap. Makes me feel like I don't know. That's really cool, man. That's really sweet. I like that. You know that's why I love this shit, man. I always like
for Ben the Paladin.
Thanks, Oda. I appreciate it. I always like to think that one of the best and greatest gifts you can give someone is the gift of adventure and an experience. You know, it's like stop it. All right, Ben doesn't need any more bits, okay?
Bits.
It's not.
I heard bits. Let's go for Ben the Paladin.
Thank you, Crimson, for the 100 bits. Wait, I forgot to check my Pokemon thing. See if I'm still in queue. Current position 15,000. Wow, I have not moved much all day. I moved 5,000 places in the last 3 hours. Okay, no problem. Cool. I just remembered that. Yeah, I honestly, okay, I have always thought that adventures and stories are one of the most powerful things that we can kind of, they're powerful cultural pieces of treasure for us. You know, I have a very long and arduously crafted opinion on the importance of story and myth. And I think it's very, very important, you know. I think that I've always thought the stories and adventures and myth are always very central to the health of a society. You know, without powerful stories, there's not a, you know, there's not much. There's not without powerful stories, you're kind of missing out on a lot of the core components of what makes it for a grand society. Without art and tales, without, you know, Shakespeare, without the Iliad, without the Bible, without comic books, like you take any period of time in history and take the stories that they told, and for me, I think there's a connection anthropologically in there, as those are some of the most important relics from that age. You know, how many things are done in the name of good because a story inspired someone to do the right thing or to be better? Right? How many little kids got through their traumatic medical treatment by thinking, I want to be strong like Superman? You know, how many people were inspired to try and take that adventure by reading that Gandalf quote about how the world is not in your books and maps, it's out there? You know, I've always thought that stories and that myth and legends and tales were one of the most important things that we could have in a healthy society. And my dream is to contribute to that. To be another line, another notch in the lineage of great stories. If I can. Hopefully I can. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll never get there. But I think it's a goal that is important enough. In my estimation, I've identified it is of high enough value that to spend my life trying to achieve it and not achieve it is still a life well spent. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool, you know, a bunch of people get to sit down and go on an adventure and be heroic and have some fun and see something that they've never seen before. And yeah, you can get lost in imaginary worlds 100%. And I have, I know the danger of it more than probably almost anyone else here. Absolutely understand the dangers of it, but I also know the pleasures of it, the delights of it. Like you have no idea. I don't think I could explain to you guys in the next hour what World of Warcraft means to me, simply because it's where I went on most of my dates with Ella. When we were living across the city as kids together and we couldn't spend any time together, you know, she has school, I have whatever, she's over there, I got this, her parents are that, my parents are being like this, and we can't like see each other. But what we did was like we went on dates in World of Warcraft. We leveled a new character together. Yesterday, actually, Ella and I found a new game that we started playing for a little bit. We got Xbox Game Pass. Because apparently it's good. I mean, and we downloaded Minecraft Dungeons and started playing that. It's like a fun little TTR or ARPG. But it's like, that's how we spent some of our time last night together. And I think stories and games and experiences like that are super important, and they mean a great deal to me. And I do this because I hope that Ben the Paladin finds something really compelling. I hope that when I tell a story about my main hero, my Luke Skywalker, I hope when I tell my story about my Luke Skywalker that his or her individual sort of like characteristics and ability to do the right thing and to be a good person inspires other people, other young individuals who don't have the best opportunity to see how that plays out in life, to form like an idolized relationship with healthy role models. Because I think it happens in every generation. Stories are one of the places where we can control those features within our kids and even adults who are like looking for role models. You know, Jackie. Oh shit, 4 years, 48 months. Holy fuck, Jackie! Congratulations on your new badge. Thank you for sticking with me for 4 years, Jackie. Let me just finish my thought real quick, Jackie, and then I wanna thank you. I wanna gush over how great you are in a minute. But yeah, I think it's very important to have stories, to have tales. You know, you think about how much good has been done in the name of a story. How much beauty has been created in the name of a story, or in the name of a virtue, or the name of a ideal that has been in the story. And you can look at them in different ways too. And this is where it gets a little contentious. Some people like to get debatey on this, and I'm not interested in a debate. I'm not interested in people's individual opinions. But you know, in this case, I mean, but things like how much good has been done in the name of the Bible. Someone being like, well, I'm gonna live in the example of like my religious whatever figure. How much good has been done in the name of like our creation myth as a country, whether it's like, oh, you know, the old Ukrainian Cossacks were always strong and noble and whatever. And they don't have to be true stories. Like, no one cares if it's actually true. It's about the ideal the story represents. So whether the story is based on history, or whether the story is Lord of the Rings, whether the story is Superman or whatever, you know, I think that stories are important. And they're ways to sort of like show the best of us and to inspire the best of us. You know, I always thought that Superman is an underrated story, because you know what Superman's superpower is, that I think that when somebody doesn't like Superman, it's like, fair, I'm not going to debate you, but the majority of the time, you know what goes through my head? Greg Miller said this once, and he's a video game guy on like this YouTube channel, but I used to watch all the time. He said something very, very interesting, and I think that he identified what people don't get about Superman. Superman's superpower, people say, oh, he's too powerful, he can jump over buildings, he can stop a spaceship, he can laser beam the sun, he can do all that stuff. It's like, nah, man, Superman's superpower is being a good person. And people who write Superman and who get that. Good Superman stories are Superman being a good person. Because it's not always easy to be a good person, to do the right thing. And lots of superheroes, what makes them interesting is when they don't do that. You know, that's, people say, oh, that's the natural like faults and whatnot. And Superman just like does the right. He's like the lawful good paladin, like boring. And I think that, like, you take a contrast with Supergirl, of Kara Zor-El, as she doesn't know how to do the right thing, but she's aspiring to, because she's in the Kryptonian lineage, just like Kal-El. You know? And I think that's the story of a good paladin. Is I think a paladin, his superpower, her superpower is doing the right thing. You know? Is being a good person, which is really hard to do sometimes. It's really hard to do. Penguin, dude, thank you for the 35 months, tier 2. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Penguin. Penguin, let me just finish my thought, and then and I want to thank you and Jackie properly. But yeah, so that's why I think it's important. Atari and everyone who gives a shit, people probably fucked off, and you know, Evan's being boring and talking about dumb shit nobody cares about again. But this is important to me. This is one of the reasons why I do this, because of Ben the Paladin. You know, because I want to create my own place where it inspires adventure for people, in the way that it inspires a moment of heroicism and heroics in Ben the Paladin, and in you know, Desdemona and Ella and in Alethork and whoever else plays in my games. I want them to have that that escape. And it's not about just escape. It's about escape and growth and learning. It's a training ground for you to develop as a person. It's a place where you can write your own story and tell your own tale. And that's one of the reasons why I like tabletop RPGs and D&D. And so Eldara is supposed to kind of take in all those things. And I think that Eldara is like maybe like one of the most important things that I could do if I do it right. You know? Like, I think, like, why write a story? Why tell a tale? Why do any of these things? And it's like, oh, it's like what video game companies, you know, I always believe in that. And I bring this up every year, so at least once. I really believe in the idea of, my favorite part of any Star Wars movie is my favorite like story in the world is the Star Wars stories. I love the moment where Yoda explains to Luke that the dark side is not stronger. That's quicker. And, you know, Luke says, is the dark side stronger? And Yoda snap answers. No hesitation. She says, no, it isn't. Nope. It's quicker. It's more seductive. It gets what you want faster. But in the end, it's not what you think you want. It's what you get something. You get what you think you want, I guess. Kind of. But you don't get what you actually want or need. And I always thought about that as far as like video game companies looking at like Activision's like, you know, monetization, League of Legends monetization. Take any big company that you think is a big microtransaction into cesspit. And the thing is, like, nobody wants to play their games after a certain point in time because they've chosen the dark side, right? You know, air quotes. They've chosen the quick, easy way to get the money. But when a studio comes around and does it right, like Larian, and says, no, we're going to create a cool-ass game, and we're going to give you the cool-ass game, and hopefully provide as much value to you as possible. Hopefully, then when we make another game, you'll want to buy that one too. And that, I think, is more the trusting in the process thing. It's like, right, like the founder of Larian said, or the current studio, I don't know if he's the founder, but the studio head of Larian said that money is fuel. It's not an end game. It's not a goal. It's fuel. The more money you get, the more cool shit you can do with it. Not the more money you get, the bigger yacht you can get, right? Like, I would never want to be a CEO of Eldara worth Bobby Kotick level money with not all of that money invested in current projects. Like, I would much rather take the Elon Musk route. And that's another thing you can see. I mean, you love or hate Elon Musk. I don't care. I don't get either way of the argument. I'm just not opinionated on him. But you know what I do think is cool is fucking SpaceX and shit like that. And so, like, Elon builds this thing, and then instead of cashing out, he builds another thing. And then he takes all his money, and he builds another thing. And he takes all his money, and he builds another thing. And he tries to solve the problems of electric cars and space travel and, you know, Neuralink and whatever problem that solves. It's a whole bunch of problems. I think it's cool. I think it's the right business model to take. Mr. Beast takes the same model. The most successful YouTuber of all time. He reinvests every dollar he gets into the next project because he believes in it and wants to provide as much value from people. He's not cashing out and buying a Bugatti and a yacht and whatever. He could if he wanted to and phone it in and just take money out now and just withdrawal or whatever. And but he's not. And I think that's cool. I think it's the way to do projects. I think it's the way to do things. And I'm going to try and treat my stuff like that. I don't ever want to let fear or insecurity guide a decision that I make with my projects. Because once you're fearful of it, like, oh, this project did well, but like, what if the next Kickstarter doesn't do as well? Well, I got to take out, I made $100,000 and I only need $50,000 of the Kickstarter money for that to actually deliver. So I'm going to use the $50,000 for that, whatever. It's like, okay, what are you doing with the other $50,000? Well, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I deserve something nice. I'm gonna buy like a Rolex and some other shit. And it's like, no, man, you take that other 50K and you invest it into the next Kickstarter project that is fucking dope, so that people can see how dope the next thing is. I think that's the way you do it. But yeah, stories are important. They're important. They're an important project to work on. They're an important thing that you can add to the world. Art is part of that lineage and part of that whole thing. And I think that that's my goal, is to create stories and worlds and characters that people can tell stories and things in a way that will inspire and be meaningful, right? Like I think about this sometimes. Realistically, I thought about this a while ago. Do I want to be Mike Morhaime or Bobby Kotick? And this is a very Blizzard specific reference, so you're not gonna really get it. But let me TLDR it for you as the last little point here, because I'm sure I'm getting boring, and I apologize for rambling on. It's just, you know, it's an important thing to me, and once in a while I like to talk about it. Mike Morhaime was the founder of Blizzard Entertainment, and he fought very hard to try and keep it Blizzard as its like Blizzard legacy. Bobby Kotick cared about money. And so Bobby Kotick destroyed the games, the company, the culture, the whatever in favor of money. And, you know, that's cool. Good for Bobby. He has a big yacht. He's worth like billions of dollars, worth like $5 or $8 billion. Mike Morhaime, he's only worth 500 million. Yeah, only 500 million. That's still a lot of money. But you know what it isn't? It's not $7 billion. I think to myself, well, what can you do with $7 billion? No one can spend that kind of money, Evan. Fuck you. I can spend that money in a weekend. Yeah, fuck you. You give me $10 billion, I can spend it in a weekend. Like, get bent. I'd build a fucking castle in the Rockies for like $1 billion, and then I'd build like a space company or some shit. Like eat shit. I could spend $7 billion. So, but at the end of the day, would you rather be Bobby Kotick or Mike Morhaime? And I think that people, when I look back on it, when you die, you can't take anything with you. All you can do when you die is leave shit behind. And so, would you rather leave behind a glittering empire of gold, adorning a tomb, you know, where you're gonna bury yourself with your treasures and your accomplishments, but everyone's gonna walk by and spit on your tomb, you know, gilded gate because you ruined the thing that they loved or whatever? It's like, who cares, man? That doesn't. I don't want that. I would rather be Mike Morhaime, because when Mike Morhaime is long and gone, people are going to be like, that guy built one of the greatest gaming companies of all time and was one of the most amazing creatives we have ever seen. And I think that's a lot cooler to be remembered for. So even if you do take a financial hit on it, I think that it's best to especially if you're creative, to move that way and to value those things. I think that at the end, that's what matters more. But I don't know, man. Yeah, thank you, Penguin, for the tier 2 for 35 months. I appreciate it. That's a long ass time, bro. Thanks, man. That's a lot of support. Hopefully one day I will be worthy of it. And thank you, Jackie, for the 4 years. That is 4 whole years. Every like year-ish that Jackie is subbed to me reminds me much more of the great debt that I owe Jackie as a friend for encouraging me to start streaming and assisting me. You know, I was going to start streaming very casually, and I was going to do stuff for like my friends and Dashto and whatever. And I was joking at BlizzCon the previous year in November. I started streaming in April-ish, and then like really started streaming in May, seriously. And I was joking in BlizzCon in November of the previous year that I was a streamer, because I went live one day and like drew some shit and whatever, and it was like kind of funny meme. And one of my friends got hired at Twitch, you know, former Blizzard, got hired at Twitch, and so he was at BlizzCon. We were joking about how we're coworkers and shit, and you know, it was funny and whatever, but I never really thought that I could take streaming seriously, that anyone would actually like want me to. And I wasn't going to take it super seriously, but Jackie was like, oh, well, you're streaming, you need like a camera, right? And I was like, nah, like I'm this like ugly fat dude. I'm like, you know, whatever. And a camera is like a whole lot of other stuff. And I just wasn't going to do it. But she was just like, well, you need a camera, so here's a camera. And she bought me a camera. I was like, oh, okay. Shit. Yeah. Okay. Fuck. Yeah. And I also use it. And then she was like, oh, and you need like to get like affiliated where people can sub to you and whatnot. I was like, yeah, but that's a lot of work. Like I would have to get like, I'd have to get like 50 followers, and I'd have to get 3 average viewers, and it's like, it's a whole thing. Like, I'm not gonna do that. That's for like a serious streamer. I can't get that. And Jackie was like, let me at my entire fucking like work, Slack, whatever, and get people to come follow your stream. So on one day, basically the first day that I said, I'm going to take streaming seriously, I have a camera, I have whatever, I'm set up, I'm going to take streaming seriously. My first real stream day, Jackie like unleashed all of her powers, or not all of his powers, but some of her powers, and just like kind of decided that I was gonna be an affiliate that day. And that evening I got into the affiliate program, and I got accepted into it, and I got sub badge, or the ability sub. And so Ella was the first person to ever sub. I told my friends, and I was like, yo guys, I got subs, like I got affiliated. And they all had this like this huge hype train. I got like 30 subs that night, which is like, when you're first, like, time affiliate, like 30 subs is like a big fucking deal, you know? And I got I got like 30 subs and bits and whatever and I was offline. They were all excited. And I wasn't gonna stream the next day, but I was so excited, and I was like, I want to stream. And so I streamed the next day because I was like so excited, and you know, it was working out, it was rewarding, and I felt good about it. And even on that first day, I got a raid from the first time by like a big Twitch streamer. She had like 20 viewers, and I was like, bro, 20 viewers is like a lot, man. It's like, it's a huge amount of viewership on Twitch. And it was Mandari, and Mandari raided me for the first time on Twitch. And that was really cool. And yeah, I would not be probably have, I mean, I don't know if I would have like started taking it seriously on my own, but I certainly wasn't planning on it. And then Jackie swooped in and decided that I was going to take my stream seriously. And so I said, yep, okay, all right, yes ma'am, I will. Okay, gotcha. And I started taking it seriously. And all I have to repay Jackie with is mediocre D&D most weeks. Most weeks. Not last week, because we were in fucking Edmonton. But this week, probably. Yeah, man. April, May is always like a very sentimental time of the year for me for streaming, because I don't know if I'm going to do like a big stream anniversary thing this year. I might not do a stream for it at all, but maybe I should. Maybe I should celebrate it. Regardless, you know? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the color here so I don't need to change the opacity. I always like working on a lower opacity on the sketch layer. Ooh. Because you kind of don't have to commit to things as much, right? Which is easier for figuring shit out, building ideas. But I realized if I just worked in a lighter color, that's easier. Because if I have to like merge something, right? Like I made this little thingy on another layer, and then I put it over here, and then I'm gonna delete underneath so that it kind of fits on there, right? Like easy. It's how I do a lot of layering for bullshit when I'm drawing like this. But every time I do, I have to like change both layers to 100% opacity. Then I have to like find the layer and then lower the layer to whatever. It's a whole thing. When I could just do it this way and it's not an issue. Like, you'd think that I would figure it out at a certain point in time. Okay, she needs rogue stuff too. She got some metal, some flight-looking aviation shit, but she needs some roguish tools. Here's Cross, thanks for the next day's story. Gotta get back to work, but good luck and hopefully play this weekend. Definitely do an anniversary stream. Who's that, by the way? This is a character named Sabine, and she is one of the NPCs that you guys can meet on Horizon or on Grand Crest if you played your cards right. But she is currently one of the sidekick characters for Fishy's game on Tuesday mornings, and I wanted to have art for those characters for stream. So I'm doing a quick sketch of all the side characters. So I'm gonna draw Kalek, and he's an Astral Sage next, and then his sister Valona is also a character they're adventuring with. So I'm gonna draw the twins next, the two of them. Currently it is Runa, Kalek, and Valona are all off on the current adventure. Of course, in between, like, all I want to do is I'm gonna complain for like, I swear, like 30 to 45 seconds. I don't mean to complain, it's gonna sound like a complaint, so I just have to kind of accept that. One of the problems that stands in the way with the Realms of Dark becoming a big thing that I want it to be is doing a lot of stuff that I have to do that I don't want to do to like make it work, which is the part like everyone who does a meaningful project has something like that in there, you know. Everyone who's you know worked at building a job, a thing or a project or a business or whatever it is, has had a phase where they had to do stuff they didn't want to, and that's kind of what, you know, it's the artist that takes commissions for drawing people's dogs that then becomes this great painter. And for artists right now, it's like the Realms of Eldara can't have a successful Kickstarter until I have a large following on social media, and I can't do that by posting my own work unless I get really good. Like as an artist, you can't, there is just a level of artist that you can be where you don't have to post within an algorithm. You can just post your work and you'll become famous. You'll be noticed because you are just so fucking good that it's impossible for people to look away from you. And there are very few artists that are that good. Most artists that have giant social media followings aren't that good. Right? Like my controversial opinion on it is that there's lots of people like that people think like are masters at whatever art they do. But it's like if this person didn't grow on social media by playing algorithms and shit like that, they would never be where they are right now. And so I got to think about that. It's like I got to do stuff for algorithms pretty soon here so that I can get a bigger Twitter following and whatever, and get a bigger Instagram, which I've never given a shit about, and I need to start kind of giving a shit about. So that when I actually have a project like the Realms of Eldara, you know, Adventure 1 or whatever, and I post it, it does well, so that I can actually have like a proper release, and then have, you know, people see it, have be visible. That or you really have to play a political game with other creators that I don't play very well. I'm not very political. I don't mean like political as in like current like politics. I mean political as in the skill of politics. It's so exhausting that I just hate doing it. It's the whole like collabing for exposure and going to the events so you can talk to this person and get to know them because they're going to help you with whatever. It's like getting into conventions for vendors. It's very political. It's one thing that Ella's been learning over the last year or so is that a lot of the conventions she wants to get into, she's not going to get into them unless she starts playing politics. But this is the way it is, you know? You do it, or you don't see your project survive. I love Sabine's expression in this. I wanted to capture something like fairly carefree. I was thinking of doing something with a lot of wind, but I kind of just want to show her like enjoying the sun or whatever, enjoying the light breeze or something. Reclining. Scale this differently. It'd be fun to paint this out, actually. Like, give her a full, like, pose or whatever. But that's a lot. That's a lot for, like, NPCs that aren't necessarily going to be a massive part of the game. I mean, Sabine's a big character, but, like, she's not, you know... How to describe it? She's not... gonna show up in other games probably, like Ella would, or like Endrick and Alara do, or whatever. And she's not a player character like Runa is either, so kind of makes it tough. Maybe I'll paint this actually. I don't know. So for her, oh man, what was her race's name again? They were the Inari. So I gotta figure out some like Inari cultural stuff. I currently have 2 Inari characters, one in one game, one in the other. The only thing that identifies them uniquely right now is they're blue, and they have white hair and face markings, tattoos type things. But like, it's one of those things that I always want to include a little bit of a cultural element into each character, but it's kind of difficult because you don't always know, like, is this element a thing from their culture? Is it an element a thing from their, because people are part of a lot of different cultures, right? Is it from their like their the culture they were born into? Is it an element of the culture of like their profession, like as a rogue or a sage? Is it an element of the culture of the location that they live in the Shattered Sea? Ethnic culture, regional culture, religious culture, profession culture. It's kind of hard to like blend all that in together. And so I need to do like a style page for each character, like kind of like you're building a world article almost, you know? Like make a style to say, okay, so she's a pilot and she lives in the Shattered Sea and she's an Inari. And as the Inari are this, she'll have this element on her, and as the pilots of the Shattered Sea might have this cultural thing to them, so they've got this going on. The Shattered Sea itself might have this type thing. You know, young women in the Shattered Sea might enjoy this type of like hairstyle or whatever, or ornamentation, versus this thing that you'd see elsewhere. Like, it's just it's a big project, I guess, to try and do a big conceptual thing like that, which is why a lot of it's just sort of in my head right now. But it makes it very difficult for someone else to like create works that meshes in. Like, I need to create a style guide for Astral Sages very, very deeply, so those who want to play a sage and make their own sage know sort of like what they can do and still stay within canonical favor. I was drawing. We are drawing Sabine from Fishy's game, Nick. I'm going to try and draw Sabine, Kaluk, and Valona before next game. I might not get all 3 of them, but I want Sabine and Kaluk at the very least, if I can. The draw motion is very hog. If I were to just walk up and see this for the first time, I know this character looks happy. Well, that's good. Yeah, I want Sabine to be kind of like sunshine in a character. She's supposed to be very, very relaxed. When I think about her character, Sabine is not somebody that I think about carries a lot of like outward negative emotion. She's very much able to be present, and so she has the ability to sort of enjoy the pleasures of a breeze. Like, she loves everything to do with the sky. She loves blue skies and clouds. She loves sailing. She loves piloting airships. She loves riding her skyboard. She loves the culture around it. So like the pilots' pubs, you know, kind of like the sailors' bars or whatever. She enjoys the mechanics of it. She just fucking loves flying. And, you know, if you want to find her contently anywhere on an airship, it's probably on the top, like upper deck or whatever, or on the bridge or something like that. And she's got a little bit of she's got a past. And she's got problems. Everybody does. But Sabine's a character that I want to be a little ball of sunshine. Not sure if the print's going to work out like that. But we're going to leave it on there for now as we're finishing the rest of the base details. She needs a big fucking dagger. She is, after all, still a rogue. Maybe I'll give her, like daggers or whatever. Throwing knife type daggers. Kept in on her jacket. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Almost tack vesty. That'd be really cool. Okay, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. I just got to think about how to do that. Sabine's also based on another character that is a very important D&D NPC of mine. It almost feels like I'm drawing her as well. Try and import sort of the spirit of a lot of the characters that I had in my Star Wars game with Ella and Dashto into like Eldara. Obviously not just like overtly like transcribing one character into the other. I'm also going to design an airship crew somewhere off in the distance that has all those characters on it. By name, by whatever. But like some characters you're going to have, like Sabine is going to be sort of the same visual representation. Like I wasn't good enough when we were doing our Star Wars game to draw those characters. So I never was able to actually draw Ella's character, K-Rel. Which is something that really bummed me out. And I will eventually at some point in time. Or to draw Sebek or Bors or any of those characters. So I will eventually. It'll happen. It's just going to be a while, you know? That's okay. Definitely needs daggers. Okay. I'll give her 4 daggers. 4 short little daggers. 4 little daggy boys. And weaponry is always a good chance, I think, to show off a little bit of the culture. So maybe we'll figure out what an Inari weapon looks like. What kind of a design scheme they have, what kind of a culture they have. Because currently, they're just blue people. They're just blue. That's the only thing they have for their culture going for them. They're blue. And you know what? They don't always need more than that. Not in the beginning. You can write something, I think, with an aesthetic in mind. A concept, you know. Cobalt, bro. They were the 4 fucking years, man.
Do you Star Wars or general sci-fi characters for practice at all? Would be neat to see you draw some space scenes too, space stations, planets, nebulae, aliens, etc.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Cobalt, thank you for the 48 months, man. You've been a dear friend of mine. You've been supportive in the greatest, most fun times of my stream. You've been there in the, you know, the most difficult portions of my stream. You've been there, and I want you to know that I appreciate you deeply, man. It means the world that you stuck with me all this time. There are very few people from those early days, Cobalt, that are still around. And like you and Thorkin and a few others are part of that sort of group. So I appreciate you, man. No, I don't do any of that for fun. So part of it is I want to include some of that kind of shit in Eldara. I want to bring the majestic sort of like glorious space into the fantasy world. So I want to have nebulas in the sky. I want there to be these like sort of large celestial bodies that the realms pass through, You know, there's a meteor sort of stream that it's a meteor stream / magical flow that the realms pass through every year. I believe it's called the Runewind Festival, if I'm not mistaken. That the night sky looks crazy during that time of the year. And so I'm trying to bring a lot of sci-fi stuff in. And the idea of aliens, I think that aliens deserve to be in fantasy. It's one of the things that I find most boring about, and I say this fully aware of what I've been doing on stream for the last 3 years or 4 years now. I find though a lot of fantasy concepts to be very boring, and I think that sci-fi is developing new stuff and having a fun time, and fantasy is just floundering in a lot of ways. And so I think that the aliens have a clear and definite place in good fantasy. I think that if we created fantasy races that were like more just like aliens, you know, I think that'd be sick. Why people don't do it, I don't know. I think that fantasy just has this kind of incestuous like desire to create the thing that they've always created. You know, so I want to do more of that stuff like that. Like, you know what I haven't ever drawn on stream, Cobalt, is the Sornok. The Sornok are the most alien-looking Eldarin race I have so far, and I've never drawn them. I can't quite get them right, but they're gonna feel more like sci-fi aliens than probably a fantasy race or whatever. Doing like sci-fi characters though, like I really have a strong desire to draw at what were their names? Arya, Yame, and Kairel. But I have a strong desire to draw Ella's 3 Jedi that she played in our Star Wars game that she had. I really want to draw those characters, but it's like, I don't know, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough. I have to find time for that. And finding time for that stuff is a challenge. So I need to like normalize my commissions, my Patreon, my projects, whatever, and then when I sort of have a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of time to just exhale, I would love to do some of that. How would you draw these? Like that? Sure, why not? Makes sense. Listen, I'm not going to lose sleep over whether or not a rogue's dagger is the most optimal for drawing. I think the whole point of the rogue is the rogue wouldn't lose sleep over it either. The rogue just wants to, like, have dagger. Have dagger, will travel. And we spend all this time doing these details, like that snap or latch or whatever, and then, you know, the crunching of the fabric and then the belt buckle, all to just have it deleted. But you gotta be willing to throw that stuff out. We're gonna also need to somehow strap these to her via some kind of belt bandolier thingy, something. I don't know how it's gonna work, but 40 months now. It has been, you know, long. It has been that long, man. It has. It's been that long. It's been an age. It's been an eternity since I started streaming, man. Feels like it. Yeah, man. A lot of stuff has been created. Like when I look back at the original stuff that I was streaming, the goal was to get better, and better we are. And now I'm sitting here drawing like NPCs for my stream game that I have with my friend that I met on Twitch that I play D&D with. Like, what a crazy fucking turn of, I don't know. All right, that's all for today. I gotta do a couple things, man. I gotta take care of some shit. I gotta get some stuff done. So we're cutting stream short about 20 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go do a thing. I'm gonna go make sure the thing is not broken. And yeah, I've checked it up in on somebody. I did miss stream yesterday because somebody was very sick and had to handle some stuff for them. So I got some checking up to do. I got to make sure all is good and everybody's happy and clean and healthy. So thanks for hanging out today, guys. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Tomorrow we might finish this piece of Sabine. Tomorrow might be like a deep work productivity day. You know, we're all gonna find a project and we're all gonna get it done or something. I don't know. It might just be memes for 4 hours. We talk about Reddit and make fun of people's home games or whatever. You know. Either way, hey man, have a great one. I'll see y'all laters. Where's my fucking outro? There it is. And then I'll post the thing probably today or tomorrow for the requests for Friday. So we'll get a couple of requests and do those on Friday, and it'll be cool. Or were we gonna do items? I forget. What was next on the block? I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be fun. So thank you guys for hanging out today. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow, and until next time, my friends. Farewell.